All right. And we live. What's up? It's Gang Talk. I'm Gangster. I'm here with Brimstone, aka Digital Fracture.
Guess in today's episode,
Yeah,
Pete's
dude,
fine. What?
you
What?
hella just
What?
cut out, dude.
Oh, did I?
You
Oh,
really did, yeah.
I was gonna
Simulation
say.
collapse. That's
I
what
was gonna.
happened.
I was just gonna say Pete's finally moved his ass out of the Stone Age.
Except not yet.
You know.
And Blue, my man Blue.
I'm perfectly fine. Hopefully,
You are you?
yeah. On the upside, hopefully I'll be feeling better soon in the next 20 billion month. By the next 20 billion, probably next 6 months, hopefully.
What, did the loss of your internet leave you jonesing?
No, I'll be honest. I officially deleted TikTok on my.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude,
shit
that's
was awful. So
there was.
it's dude. I no, because I checked. Sorry, I didn't cut out feed. It was I was checking my hours on my phone, and for someone like me who uses Reddit a lot, Reddit is not even the majority of my time on my phone. Majority of my time on my phone is TikTok, an absurd amount of days just dedicated to it. And I just saw that shit, and I'm like, I'm gonna cut that off by the knees because that is not good. I waste way too much time on that. Also, it's horrible because it's like Twitter, but more AIDS, if that's even possible.
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious. Like there was somebody made a meme of like all the different articles saying that Trump's proposed ban of TikTok is such a horrible idea and all this other stuff. And now all of a sudden it's a great idea once they've figured out that, oh yeah, because they're China and they're tracking everything. They're key logging and
Well, I thought we were on our own version of TikTok now. I thought that was the whole idea behind what Trump was doing.
that's still Chinese though. Like,
Yeah, but they don't have the backlog anymore.
oh
They don't have
no, come
access
on.
to that. It's supposed to be our own client, from what I
Bullshit.
understood.
They'll still put in backdoors but I'd know you could never trust it. That's like that's like Huawei phones, right? Like you can't trust them. I don't care what they try and prevent them from doing. Like they'll get the info that they want.
Even ignoring that, in terms of I know it's it sound crazy to believe, but TikTok has actually destroyed a generation's attention spans worse than any other social media app.
I don't know about that, man. Like they say that about TV and I don't know if I buy that. Like now it might be damaging to kids or young adults or whatever, but
the kids I've seen on TikTok are, let's just say, not very good people.
Yeah, but is that because of TikTok or is that just because TikTok attracts those kind of kids?
I think it's more so because TikTok's algorithm, because it's like every other social media algorithm, but you know how every social media algorithm always makes something cater towards your taste.
Well, is that why Bill Clinton saw a bunch of underage girls dancing?
Yeah, of course, obviously, but every social media algorithm has that in some form, obviously. But TikTok is significantly worse with it, where it's you don't know this when you use it, but especially if you use political TikTok, where you actually just get entrapped in your own echo chamber. It's worse than Twitter in a lot of ways in terms of putting you in your own echo chamber. Because the app's all about keeping you on.
Oh god damn it!
And keep scrolling. And
I'm fucking dropping frames or something. The fuck? Fucking Comcast, dude.
And instead of rage clicks, how Facebook and Twitter gets you to do rage likes or whatever, instead of rage likes and clicks, it's rage rage watching and keeps playing, and you keep scrolling because the whole point of the algorithm is it wants you to stay on the app, and that's why there's people who use TikTok like me, who did use it and would just be on there. Oh, I'm gonna use it for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's 5 hours later.
Yeah, but again, that's all social media and shit like that. So
But I've never. But the thing is, like, maybe I'm speaking from personal experience, but it's like I've never had like a social media app really do that to me because like even Reddit, the amount I use it doesn't even. I don't sit there for 5 hours scrolling Reddit or even like an hour. At most, I think I've ever spent like 20 minutes of my day scrolling Reddit.
Yeah.
damn.
It's
Why?
almost on par with how Twitter used to be for me, but like I said, it's just like it's just like TikTok's worse than Twitter in a lot of ways because these people in there are just fucking awful. Also, the app's
Well,
just
I mean,
awful.
well, plus like they start trends like going to fucking knock people out in public. You know,
Dude,
kids
no
going
what
and getting
trend
into
that
fights randomly, dude. Like, what
know
the
what
fuck?
know what trend was started by TikTok and it's so creepy. The trend where you just pour a bucket on top of your head and like wet your clothes or whatever, specifically targeted at young girls and shit. I'm like, holy shit, TikTok, that's a little much.
Get to the indicated pod for resupply.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? I'm so fucking pissed off with Comcast right now.
Patch yourself up.
What happened?
I'm getting really horrible whatever bit rate on my on OBS. It's red and dropping frames, and it seems like it's oh no, there it goes again. uh,
There's Zeds on the scope.
damn it. Ugh.
Hurry up. Zeds
Well,
are getting
don't
close
stop
to
on
the
my account, guys.
Oh well, I mean, I
Uh,
don't know if
I,
Yeah, I
I
don't
know
know
you
either,
got.
you know.
but you know, no sense in just having dead air.
Go
All right, so I guess now that
There.
TikTok's out of my life, and my life will be better in September, hopefully. So yeah, and also I, for once, actually started watching a lot of anime again. So I read manga, except for One Piece. But
Well, that's good.
Of course, you
I
won't
started
fucking
watching
watch
Black.
anime with me.
now finish the
It's easier
job.
watching my bed. I was watching
You
Black
can do
Clover
that when we watch. You've got Discord on your phone.
on my laptop. I mean, I could
You-
probably use it on my laptop.
Yeah,
To
or
be
your
honest, but
laptop.
I was watching, and I ended up watching like 111
Oh, fuck.
episodes of Black Clover, and it's
Did-
like classic shonen shit. And I'm like, I missed it. I missed classic.
Did
shonen.
you hear that, Pete? Blue. I mean, did you hear that, Blue? Pete wants you to watch anime with him in bed.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah, it'll be porn too.
Of course. Hentai on Discord, by the way. Make sure it streams
Yo!
the whole streamer server.
Yo, we're gonna have an HH night. You know what that is? Hentai with the homies. We got this.
Crunchyroll and chill.
Or Pirate Bay and chill, in your case.
He would never do Pirate Bay. What are you talking
Oh, yeah,
about?
never.
I
We
would
don't have
never
evidence
condone
on this
something like Pirate
accusation.
Bay, sir.
I was talking about the One Piece and Hen to the Grand Line, guys. That's all I was saying. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Oops, oops,
No,
oops,
no
oops.
pirates.
No pirates here.
Yes, I would never
Yeah,
condone
I
something
think
like
it was-
piracy. Come on now. We're a wholesome
the thing is,
Christian
like,
server.
It's just so weird to me because like I've like trying to watch a lot of seasonal anime. I only watched like 2 of them that end up being romances because Kaguya-sama obviously and all that because like I don't know. This doesn't help that a lot of anime like tried to watch some of them. And then also I started watching Black Clover. I used to shit on it to be honest, just because I could. But I started watching it and it's kind of crazy how I watched 111 episodes total so far.
Yeah.
That was very good. It's also like classic shonen where it takes like 20 episodes to get to an actual fight, which is kind of nice. Like, I miss this. I miss the drawn out battles, the boring battles we have in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Man.
You can already hear people like, "Oh, drawn out battles? That's so bad." I don't know.
You like DBZ?
Hey, no, it's fine.
4 episodes later, and he's still in the same Kamehameha wave that he started in season 1. You don't say.
Hey, you know what? It's still
8 episodes to gather a spirit bomb.
Jesus.
Hey, you
Christ.
know what? There's like charm and love to drag him to like drawn out battles. Also, in terms of Black Clover characters, Mimosa can get it. God, she's Anyways, I'll stop. I gotta stop myself. Never mind.
Why?
She's not a waifu, but she's very well built. If you catch my drift.
Like, how
Why is
very
she
well
not a
built?
waifu?
My waifu is forever gonna be a Artoria or a C2. I can't ever betray them. I can look at other girls though, so you know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think
Go.
Artoria is good enough that she won't hate you for having other women.
Hopefully. By the way, any of you guys watch the debate? Like, I don't know if you did time to see this, but did you watch the debate between XQC and Andrew Tate at all, or no?
No.
It's so funny because like XQC is kind of like a cuck loser, and like Andrew Tate's like has a little bit of extreme opinions, but like kind of red pilled. And like watching them debate was so funny because like XQC would throw temper tantrums throughout the whole fight. And then he
Okay.
made the argument that if someone broke into his house, he would send his girlfriend downstairs.
Why? Wait, what?
He made the argument that if someone broke into his house, he would send his girlfriend downstairs to take care of the problem.
Of course he would.
Safely open.
He's actually a fucking idiot. Like, the
Like
guy
no, like
is
I'm not even
wrong.
joking. By the way, you think I'm making up a scenario, but like no, it's actually real. He made that argument, and then like he starts screaming because like that's all these people tend to do. No,
Well,
I
his
agree.
first part of the argument was he wasn't gonna, like, nobody was gonna go downstairs, and he wasn't gonna defend himself. He was just gonna run. Like, he'd make sure that they were both gonna run, and
He'd
then
just
like
fucking cower.
he asked if his girl, what if like his girl could like take care of herself better than he could, like martial arts and whatnot, and fucking he's like, oh yeah, she could go down then. I'm like, really? Okay. Where
Wow.
Andrew's point was, he was trying to say was like something about like even if his girl knew shit more than him, he'd still go down and defend her or some shit like that, right? Is that what he was trying to say, Blue? I don't
Yeah.
remember all the debate.
Yeah,
I remember
also
parts of it.
that, and also if someone broke into his house, they're definitely getting clout on because he was an ex. Because Andrew Tate, despite some of his opinions, I'm not that much of a big fan of. He was an ex kickboxer. So you know what? That dude's getting wrecked if he broke into his house without a gun.
Oh yeah.
Maintain the area secure.
No, but like the debate was crazy because like I agree with all Tate's points, but I also don't agree with a lot of XQC's points because they're insane, to be honest.
I was gonna say XQC is just a nutball in a general sense,
Because
right? Like
it's
he's complete
simpage. No,
brain
it's like
dead.
simpage, but like of the highest order. It's so painful to watch. But
I
I also don't agree.
agree with
But I also don't agree with the point that like men can cheat and it's okay. Because I just don't think anyone should cheat in a relationship.
Was that
Opinions.
Andrew's point or was that XQC's point?
No, Andrew Tay. He has one. He's one. He in his opinion, he thinks that men cheat is not as bad and it's okay because as long as he goes back to the girl, he loves her. Blah blah blah.
Ah, get out.
I don't agree with that because
Well,
I just
all right, no,
don't
like
think if you're in a relationship you should cheat.
no,
But-
it depends on what he was trying to say or what his point was. Like there is a difference between when men cheat and when women cheat. Like they cheat for different reasons. That doesn't mean that it's okay or anything. But I don't know.
I think that one was more so because like he's a super rich guy and has multiple girls. I think that was one was more so to justify like his lifestyle, which it's his life, right? So all that.
Right.
I just don't think anyone should cheat regardless, and it's kind of hard because like you got one point where it's like one men can cheat is something big of a deal, or women if they cheat on you it's because you're a bad person. And it's not their fault. Also, they're the best at self-improvement, but they're automatically 10 out of 10s out the gate.
Well, that's the one I love, right? Like, if a guy cheats on a girl, it's all his fault, and fucking it, everything like
Oh
that.
yeah.
If a
Like there
girl,
was never any reason for this, right?
well,
Like
and if a
ever.
girl cheats on a guy, the immediate thing is, well, what'd you do? What'd you do to make her cheat? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, like
The hypocrisy in that
the
shit is
chick could
ridiculous.
have been like she could have been colder than a Yeti's ball sack, never fucking given him, any intimacy or love or anything like that. Like fucking been just a
And yeah,
horrible
it's his
twat,
fault.
but it's still his fault for cheating. And the chick, she cheats, and it's like, oh well, what were you doing that caused her to have to do something so terrible as to cheat?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking people, dude.
Yeah.
But that more so comes from modern day feminism, to be honest. It's just paying attention to
And just gynocentrism in general. Like,
Yeah.
people are more forgiving of women. That's just all there is to it.
I mean, yeah. For better or for
It's
worse.
literally a generation of being coddled. That's why I like seeing like on those Facebook groups where women are actually starting to come out and say, "No, this is fucked up."
No,
Like
the
I'm
problem
glad.
is
I'm
just like
happy seeing that
there
shit.
is
And
I
that
want
was-
that
that,
more
but
often.
like this sounds like a black pill take, and I'm not trying to take it, but like I see these videos and like girls in my generation who have these insane opinions and like in their mind they really can't do nothing wrong, and it's always the guy's fault. I see that shit and I'm just like, bro, get me out of here, please.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
It's-
you ain't wrong.
It's garbage. Yeah, it's garbage.
See, that's the thing. It used to be understood. Like, women complain, or feminists or whatever complain that like they aren't as respected as men, just in general, right? Or that like people defer to men but not to women. And it's like, okay, but you understand that's because of how deferential people are to women out the gate, right? Like if a man is in a position of responsibility, that's because he earned it, and there was no fucking, he didn't get the job because he batted his eyelashes at the guy that was fucking, in charge, right? That doesn't
Showed him his
happen.
tits.
Exactly.
Hey, bro.
That doesn't happen. So, like, of course, people are going to be more, at least initially, deferential to a man in the same position as a woman, because with a woman it's you never know, like, did she just suck her dick to the top? So like, and same thing, by the way, it's the same thing, and this is why it's the quotas, right? And affirmative action, right? This is one of the reasons why they're so terrible, is because even if, like, say, a black man is a boss, even if he got there totally on his own, like, you still got to think about it, right? Like, you don't know, not for sure. He could have been a affirmative action hire, and you don't know until you actually have experience with that individual person, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, dude, if I was a minority, I wouldn't want that stuff in place ever, because I'd want people to know that, no, I earned my place on my merits and nothing else. I wouldn't even want the question to be there. But
There's a lot of people also like who take advantage of that for more for like guarantees at this point, because now
Well, of
companies
course.
just, like people like some like dump like enumeration, or even you don't have to like do the race thing anymore. At this point, you can legit just say like you can just be like a normal like straight dude, but like put non-binary in there, but say act the same way you always do, and you'll probably get.
Well, yeah,
interviewed better
you
if you
can't
say you're a
prove
straight
it.
dude. You can't, and it's not. It's one of those things. Also, they can't interrogate you on. Like, what do you mean by non-binary? It's like you can't. They can't prove it. They
Well,
can't
I mean, maybe
question
they
you.
could try, but
Why? How? Who gives them the right to question your identity? Huh?
Oh, shit. So, buy ammo. There we go. Good.
Agreed.
Yep. Yeah, or just, say you're bi, and it's like, What are they gonna do? Ask you to prove it by sucking some guy's dick? Like,
Oh,
you
this
must fuck the guy
I mean,
and the girl
must-
at the
Brem
same
would
time,
enjoy that,
or
but you
else
know.
this motherfucker.
They're like, are you sure you're
Tell
bi?
me-
All right, these are two.
tell me, bro.
There's a
Tell
guy
me
and
that
girl.
shit
You have
would
to
be
fuck both
wild.
of them in
Oh,
front of
wow.
us as we
Yo.
record it.
All that shit of like, fucking feminism and all that nonsense, right? And then we come into a full circle where they're like, "Well, prove it." Oh my god.
Oh, did I
That'd
just
be
lose
something, wouldn't it?
connection? What the fuck? This is twice this has happened to me in Killing Floor. I got
Did
good
the stream
ping.
cut or-
No, stream's actually okay. It's just I get dropped from the game. Like everybody's just walking into walls and motherfucker,
Yeah,
man.
that's one of the reasons why I
Fix-
stopped playing that game.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't
I was
happen
getting
that
that
often.
issue too. I was getting that issue at the beginning, and I haven't touched it really since. So I don't know if they fixed it or not, but it looks like not because you're really going through it.
Well, it happened the other night too, like last Friday, but it only happened the one time after I just exited out and restarted or went into a different game. It was fine. So, I mean, that's
Right.
not the worst thing ever, but it's like, come on, guys. Fix yo shit.
True. Should be a thing. Shouldn't have to be a thing that we, have to be like put a support ticket in and request a feature of, hey, fix your
Especially-
game.
Especially this game. Dude, this game's like over 10 years old. Or wait, what, 20?
Yeah,
No,
you're,
stop. Killing Floor isn't 10 years old.
isn't
Stop. No.
Hang
No?
on.
That's it.
Reset. Edit. Killing
7 years,
Floor
maybe?
2, 2016. So,
it? Oh, so
that's 10
4 or
years old,
5.
thank God.
6, yeah.
no, it's 2022. So, 6 years.
Okay, you got me freaking out for a moment. You said 10 years old.
I mean,
Oh.
closer to 10 than not.
You know what? Let's not bring that up.
Shut up, dude. You're not even old, bro.
Yeah, but everything I like is getting considered old.
Like, you don't even have
I
to
think
deal
you
with the
like
fact
is
that
starting to
things
go
that
into
came
the
out,
classic era stuff.
things that came out when you were in high school are fucking, like almost 20 years old at this point.
Dude, someone told me that Naruto was a classic and I cried. Or almost did. It's like, you don't get to call things I like classics now. Fuck you.
Don't worry, dude.
2004
good.
is still new.
Bro, they're gonna have the greatest hits come out in DVD soon. Don't worry.
Oh, oh, fuck. Ooh.
Like, man, it's eventually
can't
everything
even?
you like will be no,
I can't even.
eventually
Yeah.
everything you like is gonna be considered like how do you get to that point where like everything
Bro.
you like is now considered classic?
What do you mean,
retro?
how,
I mean-
bro? Like, it happens, dog. Age
You
is
wait
a
until
thing.
you move on beyond classic, dude. You're gonna all the shit you're gonna like is gonna be considered legacy, bro.
Oh, the day anything I like gets considered legacy is the day I'm crying. I'm like,
Well, that's
I-
already
I-
the case. But you like plenty of stuff that was around when me and Brem were kids, dude. You like DBZ. You like fucking. You
Yeah,
like
you know you're
Naruto.
right.
You like what? Dude,
Yeah.
One Piece has been around for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. Yeah.
And it's entering its final saga, by the way. What does that mean?
Yeah,
Who
right.
knows what that means there's an ending.
Wait, they're actually gonna end it? That's the
But
thing.
Well,
no,
Oda-
it's gonna end, and then it's
Oda
gonna be
said-
fucking like Prestige 1 or something, and go on for another
Oda
30
said,
years.
Oda said One Piece is entering its final saga, which to be honest, I've never heard someone call the final saga. So that
Yeah,
means it's
believe
probably
it when I
multiple
fucking
arcs
see it.
for-
Time's up. Go kill some Zeds.
God. Either way. Society. That's all I'm gonna say that.
Society's
we
weird.
live in a society.
Yes. Anyways, how do y'all feel about Reddit banning the word groomer now?
And Twitter.
And Twitter, let's not forget Twitter as well.
Yeah, well, I think to borrow a phrase, or to borrow a concept from the SJWs, I think only a groomer would feel the need to ban the word groomer.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of any other reason why they would ban. Like, why own the word groomer? I feel like I'm so lost. It's like they could be, oh, don't say that about us. It's horrible. Blah, blah, blah. Instead, they just own the word groomer, and now they don't want you saying it. It's like,
Yeah, it's offensive. Yeah, you're offended that you resemble this remark.
it's the equivalent of someone. It's the equivalent of like a pedophile at a park. Someone says, "Get out of here, you gross, whatever, gross pedo." And then like the guy walks up to a group of gay people and be like, "Oh my god, he made fun of us." Like that's the equivalent.
Relax. Once done and dusted.
I get it, like I don't know. I don't get why. It's like I know like it applies.
Oh
to
no,
them,
you
that's why they
get
want
it.
banned.
That's yeah.
Like they want it banned because it applies to them. But it's like I just can't think of why die on the hill of grooming.
Because they need every advantage they can.
Yeah, well, like imagine put in like an argument, like a political. Imagine a political argument, like a Biden has to defend the word groomer. He's like, so do you support grooming? Yes. Brain collapse. Yeah, grooming, great. You might say it accidentally has cancer too. Like that.
Well, he does have the COVIDs.
More Zeds.
Double vaxxed,
COVIDs.
double boosted, and he's got the COVIDs.
No, like, did y'all see that though? Biden literally said, "I have cancer." Oh my fucking god.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He was talking about climate change or some stupid nonsense like that, and then he just said, "I have cancer," and I'm like, "Okay, dude."
Yeah.
My dude's
The problem is like, do you
fucking
take him at his word? Do you take him at his word? Because this is the same guy who said, "Repeat the line out loud."
More Zeds inbound.
What? Oh, yeah. Reading off the teleprompter or whatever, yeah.
It's the same guy who did the repeat the line shit. So it's like, do you take
Oh,
him at
what
his
was that
word? If
shit?
I'm saying it,
Yeah.
do you take him at his word, like when he says he has cancer, or like, what do you do in this situation?
Not trust the old man who can't fucking go to the Vatican without shitting himself.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I kind of agree with that one actually. Or better yet, how he can't even get out of bed without almost fucking having a life-ending fucking.
Or ride his bike
fall,
without falling
you know?
off, or walk
Yeah.
up a flight of stairs without falling upwards.
Yeah, it's a little sus.
A little.
I mean, everybody was making fun of Trump for being in his age, and they're saying that he was like, fucking senile and shit. And I'm just like over here, like, okay, what about Biden? No, we're not saying anything about Biden, right? Like, it's okay. I
They
get
get
it.
mad at Trump because like apparently he speaks at fourth grade level and all that shit, and then Biden can't even speak words.
He can't even
It's
speak
like,
at A grade level.
Can't even say words. It's
And like
America is a
his
country
VP
can-
is just as bad, bro. Like his VP is just as fucking terrible of a
That's-
fucking.
no, like
person.
what?
Oh,
happened?
worse
Like, what
actually, which
happened?
is amazing. I don't know how it's possible, but yeah, Kamala's worse, bro.
Like, but what happened to her though? Because like in her debates, like she was outspoken, and now she like sounds like every time she talks, she sounds like she's like a text generator.
That's because she's reading off of a prompt.
Yeah, the drugs
All
ran
time
out.
now.
Like, I don't know.
Like I'm wondering if like she got like she's like like seriously, I wonder if like she's actually depressed that she was just a diversity hire and she won't be president. And now she's second fiddle to a dying, decrying old man.
He's on the scope.
I wonder if that like actually affects her. Who knows? It's still I don't know. It's still kind of fun that her behavior changes so much, like in office.
Yeah.
Even reading off a teleprompter is not as bad as like how she does
I
it.
agree.
But I mean, at least she doesn't say repeat the line.
Zeds are getting closer.
It's okay. The White House will have the DOJ identify the word groomer and make sure it can't be fined or arrested. Alright.
Go make a
Yeah,
difference.
Sounds
they'll make hair sniffing allowed. hair sniffing of little girls allowed or something, and Biden will be happy.
Do y'all see those leaked like Hunter Biden texts from like his Apple or iCloud? Or no.
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 Apparently, he has his dad under the name of like pedo. The problem is, I don't know if the text are
Really?
true or not, but like
I
that's his
wouldn't
dad.
doubt
thing.
it.
Also, hold. Do you think like Joe Biden like did horrible things to Hunter as a kid? And that's why he's,
Maybe,
like, a
dude.
psychopath?
The evidence is
There's a lot of signs in the behavior
like
of that person. Yeah. I mean,
there's also the his niece's journal that described in detail the showers that she and her uncle
Wait, pause. What?
shared. Yeah,
How is that not public news? I mean, yeah,
because the
Hunter Biden
FBI
himself.
fucking took it and it was never seen from again, just like the Hunter Biden laptop.
Wow. Holy shit, the FBI really is just that corrupt.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
I know the day ends in Y, but like, still, it's like under Trump, they were making sure to do everything possible to get in his way. But like under Biden, they're literally getting rid of evidence. Holy shit.
Here you go.
I don't think if that's even allowed, but who arrests it? But who looks after the Watchmen?
exactly.
Not to make a Watchmen joke out of that, but you know.
No, I got you. No, it's crazy though, man. It's nutty that these people get away with this shit and they go unchallenged like 90% of the time. And they claim that they didn't have enough evidence or all this other shit. Yet we'll say someone's a pedo for some shit on a hard drive, right? Even though that's not really evidence of them actually going out and doing something. But that's along the same lines of watching a drug deal go down. But they say, well, we can't really prove that those drugs actually ended up in that person's hand, even though they handed him money. You know what I mean? Same fucking scenario. Just different fucking flavor of text. That's all. Crazy how that shit works, right? That's how the shit is in the US, bro. Like, if they don't like somebody like enough, like, they'll bend the rules to fucking make sure that person never gets out of jail
Bend
again.
them?
Break them in half, shatter them, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And also, they're talking about climate change again and how all of us need to sacrifice our body and life so Prince Harry can fly around on his private jet alone in peace.
Yep.
Why am I not surprised at this point?
The problem is, like, you know the meme where, like, people would always say, like, as I heard some simple, people were like, oh, you're the carbon they're trying to remove. I thought that was, like, a whole meme. Like, oh, no, it's actually real.
No,
You're
it's
the
straight
carbon
up
they're trying to
real.
remove.
Yep. Straight up real.
And it makes a lot of sense on why, Greta basically called for mass genocide. So,
Well, dude,
Wait,
it's
Reddit called for that?
no Greta.
you know, Greta.
Greta
Oh, Greta.
Thunberg. No, it's like you know, they want to eliminate all fossil fuel usage. And it's like, okay, which 50% of the population gets to die then? Because a huge amount of people would die if we, you know, like, you know, air conditioning and fucking heating and yeah, huge. Straight up
Dude,
about
the East
half
Coast
of
is
the
all. That's all that. Dude, the East Coast that's pretty much all they fucking operate on out here, bro. Is fucking literally like oil and fucking gas.
And there's no way, like, because, you know, like, all right, you could use, you know, for the homes that have fireplaces and stuff like that, like, yeah, you could switch over to using firewood and stuff like that, but it's like nobody's prepared for that.
Right.
You know, even for the people that have fireplaces or coal furnaces or, you know, stuff like that, that fucking we'd never be able to switch over that quickly.
Right.
And it's like any diabetic, they're gone. Straight up.
Oh yeah.
and
Okay.
insulin has to be refrigerated, so that's game over for that. Plus,
That's not even including all the other medications.
and
that
that's
they
yeah.
can't
There's
go out
lots
and
of
heat
other
with.
medications like that. Yep, they're all dead.
So
And
you're
then-
looking at roughly over half.
Yep.
Over half, easy. Like I
But-
would say around somewhere around that.
But not
65,
them,
70%.
sir. They still get to go around on their private jets and fly to environmental conferences, so they can tell the rest of us that we can't drive in our fucking, you know, our economy shit boxes. They can have fleets of SUVs and yachts and private jets, but don't you dare have a fucking '98 Honda Civic.
Go kill some Zeds.
That, and also you eat the bugs now. And
Yeah,
Paul-
yeah. Live in the pot.
Paul Schwab
Eat the
gets to
bugs.
Gets to eat a
I
steak.
think that
or
one
whatever.
fucking movie that I watched, the bullet train that goes through the fucking frozen wasteland and it has the entire.
Oh
civilization on it.
yeah.
Bro, like like we're all gonna be sitting in the back of the fucking train eating roaches and shit while everybody else is living the high life, huh? That's how this is gonna work. Okay.
Yeah, what was the name of that movie?
Yeah, maybe.
Damn, I just watched it too. It was not that good.
Like most things.
Nah, there's plenty of good movies out there. But this one was not very good.
Just like basic training.
Either way, you're the carbon they want to remove. You're gonna be forced to live in the pot and eat the bugs, and you'll be happy. Actually, you'll be miserable, but they don't
3
care.
square meals a day. You shit in the corner of a room all fucking day. Somebody else will come and clean it if you're
Well,
lucky enough.
Didge.
Yeah, that's
Prince
that
Harry
sounds like
needs-
life.
Didge, Prince Harry needs serfs. What are you gonna do about it?
Reddit bans anti-LGBT plus Groomer slur or what?
Yep. Twitter
What's
too.
that about?
Twitter and Reddit have both banned the slur groomer.
Well, don't be a
At least they
groomer,
owned
idiot.
it.
That's exactly what we say.
It's
The only people who
ironic
would want to ban the
that
word
the groomers are the
groomer
ones that
would be
are fucking wanting
groomers.
to ban it. Yeah, fucking hilarious. What the hell?
I mean, it would be hilarious if it wasn't so fucking terrifying, but
Well, not for you. You're not a groomer, and you're not being groomed.
well, no, it's
But
terrifying
it's
because
for the people that are getting groomed and the people
yeah,
whatever.
Well, it's terrifying for the next generation because next generation is gonna have a whole army of Hunter Bidens, all scarred by their teachers,
Disgusting.
My
or
favorite.
potentially sterilized by their teachers. God, how
Yeah.
dystopian does it sound? Your teacher's gonna sterilize you now? Holy shit!
without even your parents knowing about it.
Blue question.
What's up?
You gonna do some PvP with me for a bit?
Sure, let me finish this.
Let's get you sorted, eh?
But yeah, it's like
Um,
now now you can't call them out anymore, and now they're gonna sterilize your kids. Oh my god, dude! I'm just
Hell
wondering
yeah.
when does the world order collapse on itself because all the shit is unsustainable, and then like we just go to like anarchy for a little bit, or at least like something more practical.
That's fair. I see that. I don't think it's ever gonna end, unfortunately.
No, because the problem is that I mean not to spread a little optimism, but I think the reason why they're pushing so hard is because their vision is collapsing.
Oh yeah, yep. Oh, an animal is
And that's why
most
they're
most dangerous when it's on its in its last moments.
Oh yes,
No
the
matter-
Hercules with a modern spin on it, which means it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, did you
Wait,
see that?
what?
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah.
They're doing a live action of Hercules, and
Oh,
they're
hell
going
no.
to
With a
No,
modern
no,
spin,
they're gonna
no.
put a
which means it's gonna
modern
be
take
shit,
on it. Yep.
which means it's gonna be 100%
no, don't-
dog doo doo.
Don't give up. I'm so. Anytime you hear like, "Oh, we're gonna do a modern take on this story," I'm like,
It usually
no,
means
no.
shit.
Why you change it? No, like you're changing the story. Like,
Is it gonna be filmed in the near the Chinese
it's-
fucking camp?
Yeah, right. Which it's
Probably.
already a modern take, right? The Disney Hercules story was already a modern take on the ancient story of Hercules. So what we need a even more modern take?
what is?
Yo, that's good. Yo, you know what you know what we're gonna have this time that we didn't have last time? Yo, our boy Hercule, dude, he's gonna be busting out a fucking Tesla, bro. We got this.
Right?
Nah, bro. It's gonna be actually a woman.
He's actually gonna be a non-binary woman of color.
Yeah. Calling it.
God, these people are such parasites. They're going. By the way, they're going after everything to make it worse, including mythologies. That's why.
It's not worse. It's called making it better and more inclusive.
Yeah, it's called
Idiot.
improving it.
By the way, that's why in Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor is nothing but a fucking pathetic loser.
To be fair, they played his character down on purpose, dude, just to make a point. You know that's what that was.
And the worst part is, you know how like everyone
because he's actually a good actor. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
No, like, the worst part is, you know how like every story, like, oh, these people think they're so like brave because like, oh, we're doing an interpretation of Zeus that makes him a fat, useless
You're an angry so-and-so, aren't you?
words you can't say that are non-TOS friendly, and like, oh wow, you're so brave. I've never seen a depiction of Zeus as a lazy bum or homeless person. Never seen that
Wait,
before, by the way.
Zeus?
Where am I?
What do you mean Zeus? I thought. Are you talking about?
Like the god, like the Greek mythology god Zeus.
No, yeah, but like, is Zeus in Love and Thunder?
Yeah, he is, and he's basically a homeless person. The way he looks. And it's like, man, can we just go back to God of War versions of Zeus?
That one was funner, honestly.
No, because like he was a menace, and also he was built like an actual god.
Like a Chad?
Like,
Like
it's
the
just
literal
like I don't
meme?
get like why you think you're so like even though it's not even actually controversial to do that change anymore. But I don't get like, oh, this is a depiction no one's ever seen. Zeus as a useless bum. Never happened, guys.
Yeah.
But then again,
Ain't no way, ain't no how.
But then again, they're subverting all mythology and trying to ruin it because, you know, they have to for their world ideology.
They
Yep.
gotta make their point. Women are better and men be bad, and also men just be lazy and ugly.
Dude, have you seen
Kill the past if you have to.
Have you seen Natalie Portman's store? By the way, I used to like.
Oh
Natalie
yeah, it
Portman,
looks
by
to
the
dude.
way.
That helmet looks like they took fucking tinfoil and wrapped some cardboard around it.
Yep. Because Disney, even with all their money and might, they still suck at making costumes for some reason. But then again, when you have no love for the project, I can imagine you're just a soulless corporation or soulless corpse doing stuff. Or it's like I saw a neurotic tweet
Garuda?
to point. Like neurotic tweeted that like instead of calling these movies, just call them products because they're not movies; they're just products for Disney.
They're just not even. I wouldn't even call them products. They're not even worth the money that fucking they put into it.
Yeah, but the whole point is like remember
Certain
like
products are actually worth the money. That's definitely not worth the money.
no, because like for like have you seen the whole list of like quote unquote phase 4 of the MCU? And there's like a billion different shows now with like movies with their own miniseries for some reason that have hour-long episodes, even though they don't need to be hour-long episodes half the time. Well, it's like they're shoving a lot of content right now because they're trying to like bump up Disney Plus and ruin characters.
I'm gonna fucking
it's a
die.
You know, Disney's a soulless corporation producing garbage.
That's not a shocker at all, which is kind of just sad at this point.
I know everyone like calls like what's his name, Walt Disney like a bad person, but can we get him back? At least there was actual passion behind Disney. And Walt Disney was in charge.
Yeah.
I know he's not alive anymore, or frozen underground somewhere. But like, still, like just anything like why? Like it's just like these people inherited a cultural phenomenon and like they inherited
All
gold.
over it.
No, they inherited gold and they're just throwing the gold away.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's because they didn't have to work to earn it, so you'll never care about money that you didn't earn. So
True.
Yep.
I agree with that.
it's like that's how like these corporations work. People who inherit corporations. That's just disgusting. Also, it's the whole Disney doing the whole wine to Groomer
Cringe.
kids. Not very good. Where there's quote unquote not so secret gay agenda in their words. Not mine, by the way.
No, yeah, they admit it.
Like that's whenever I like get into arguments about it, and they're like, "Oh, that's just a made up word. They don't say gay agenda." And I'm like, "Oh, interesting you say that." Shut up, record it. Like,
It's
he's
not the
literally
gay
using-
agenda.
I'm literally using their words. Like that's the shit that bothers me. I'm literally using their words, and they still like deny reality.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No.
It's not true, dude. Like, there's no proof.
Yeah, it's
Why are
like,
there, like, a
there's
bunch
no
of kids in
agenda,
the
and then they'll
closet?
wear shirts that say "Ask me about my feminist agenda."
Or the force is female.
The Force is the Force, but okay.
Oh god damn it!
I-
Dropping frames again.
I love modern day bullshit. I hate everything, to be honest. I'm such a
Yeah, I don't hate-
pessimistic person now.
That's not good. I don't agree with the pessimistic point, but like,
Well, like now
These
I
peop-
am. Like before I
these
was
people-
never like this.
still though, I'm never gonna give up. I will.
It's really easy to adopt this kind of point of view, especially if you like, if you're so like parasocially inept, right? Because like that's not inept, but you know what I mean. Like that's what
Big
you do.
word.
Is you live off of parasocial experiences. Like that's what you do, right? Like me, that's kind of what your thing is because you have your bunch of these
Damn.
online streamers that you. No, I'm not trying to call them out and be mean
Therapist,
about
so
it.
give
But, like,
professional attention
But
now.
you know what I mean though, right? Like
No, I
if that's your
don't.
only experience, if that's your only experience and you've never actually left your house to live your life, it's extremely easy to be that pessimistic. It's an extremely easy thing to adopt.
He's
So
not
that's why
wrong.
it's like if that's all your experiences is, guess what? The
What do you
outcome
mean
of what
my
their experiences are,
Like, what experiences are you talking about?
bro, you literally stay at home, right? Again,
but,
not
like,
trying to call your
besides
shit
that-
out here.
Besides
That's
that,
part of it.
What's the
No,
other thing?
that's part of
no,
it.
the other
right?
thing. What were you saying?
Oh, talking about your VTubers that you watch, right? Like that's where all your experiences come from when it comes to like what people go through in their lives, right? You'll have
no, not
like
really, but
you'll have
okay.
like Asmongold talking about his personal life, or you'll have like certain VTubers that talk about their personal
Okay,
experiences.
but I'm not saying and sprouting shit like that's the gospel. I'm just like saying, okay,
I'm
well
not-
that's kind of like
Oh
whatever,
my
right?
god, meme, that's not my point.
No,
You're
it's
missing
just
the
like,
point.
I'm confused now because you're like making it seem like I'm this whatever, but like I'm not
Oh
like
my
that.
god! I literally said I wasn't trying to make you into this. Like
But you
the beginning
doing
of
it. Why are you doing
No,
this to me?
you clown. You're not picking up what I'm trying to say. Is what I'm saying is your only experiences
You
when it
hate
comes
me.
to social stuff is literally based on a parasocial avenue. I'm
No,
gonna
you
dick
hate
slap
that.
you.
It's kind of like these guys who. Now, granted, there's not it's not like they're entirely wrong, but guys who complain about dating and their only experience with dating is Tinder.
There you go.
Okay,
right.
fuck you. You
Yeah.
don't need to say
Sounds
my
like you
And
just
it's
called
like,
me.
well, yeah, like, of course, if all you do is use Tinder, your experience with dating is going to be garbage.
Or
Have you
your
s-
outlook
no,
on
no,
it.
hold
at
up.
least, you know what I mean?
That one's just incorrect. Because have you seen some of these people
Oh,
like
that's
in
me.
my generation?
Yeah,
Yes.
and they're all on Tinder.
I love how we
Well, they
both
can
said
they can
that.
sit there
Yes.
they can sit there and use Tinder all they want. But when I'm a multimillionaire, I'm going to be at the top of the hierarchy.
Mhm.
Garuda, I don't know who you're talking about is a triggered liberal fairy.
Wait, who's the triggered liberal fairy?
I don't know.
Let me get the skill here. AFK kills. Give me my catalyst. And of course, I don't have it yet.
I'd show the message in chat, but it's hard to alt tab out because it's not borderless.
Yeah, that's fair. What
You
up,
playing?
Garuda? How you been, man? It's been a minute.
And I would play borderless, but apparently Killing Floor 2 has problems when you play borderless. So fuck you, Killing Floor 2.
Play borderless. Ain't
I
that
love
hard of an issue?
I can't. It's got issues.
Skill issue.
Yeah, it's a skill issue.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Yep, it's literally my skill that mouse commands don't register sometimes when you're playing with borderless.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Blue
actually.
is the triggered liberal fairy. I don't know why, but whatever.
Oh, blues.
Seems quite often
I'm
that
just-
Garuda just says shit just to stir shit up.
His
Yeah.
name's
I mean,
Garuda. Is he really allowed to talk?
I mean, I just want to know the. I mean, if that's the case, that's kind of. I want to know his argument now.
I'm gonna go
But
check my
anyways,
food.
Back to what I was saying, though.
No choices, people.
Dating's a little different, but be optimistic because hierarchies change, and when you're a multimillionaire, you take a hammer and smash that shit anyway. So yeah.
This just means Blue's gonna hook a homie up and get me laid with a pussy. Some.
Don't worry,
Let's go.
man. When I promise you this: when I'm rich, I won't forget about you or anyone here. So.
Blue's gonna just be like, "Yo, I
Except
got
you're
you,
already
homie."
rich, and it's not like you buy me anything, you cheap bastard.
I'm not rich.
Had
Let's not
to
get that
buy
twisted.
my own goddamn video card, motherfucker.
Pause. What? I'm not.
He just told you to
rich.
buy him a GPU.
I don't know where you think I have this money from.
Your
Also, I mean actual rich.
your
multi-millionaire,
Bitcoin, your stocks.
My Bitcoin's kind of dropping on me, but I bought more because I'm an addict who thinks it's gonna climb someday. So
It's still holding its value. I mean, it's not at where it was fucking 6 months ago or whatever, but it's still at like 20 something thousand.
Let's call that your
buy
one.
the dip, right? That's all I say. Buy the dip. The stock market has been taking a punching, so it's the price you pay. Regardless, meme.
Yes.
You can go and get pussy now. I don't know why you're waiting for me to help you. I'm gonna help you.
I'm not like I don't need any.
Like, am I-
I'm just like I don't
Like,
care.
am I gonna when I'm a multi-millionaire?
I was
am I
kidding.
Gonna,
I
buy
don't really
UV girls? Am I gonna
are,
get?
you, are you not?
Who's your favorite VTuber? I'll buy them and deliver them right to you.
All of them are my favorite. There's a trick question.
Oh god, that makes me sound like a human
VTubers.
trafficker.
Ugh.
Never mind. I just sound like a human trafficker.
Human trafficked me a fucking VTuber girl from fucking China.
Of course, I will.
That fucking. Hey, that didn't actually happen.
I'll pay for Bebe to say hello to you. Alright.
Pay for Bebe to say hello to me.
Make for the
Exit out.
I could literally just donate myself
What
and
up,
be like,
JC?
yo,
By the way,
pay
did you
me.
know,
You're a little
did you know Bebe is Polish, by the way?
You know she's hot as fuck.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Garuda
Not
says,
YouTuber,
"Let
but,
me
like-
debate Blue. I already married Goget. He's triggered as fuck."
Why would that's what?
That's a
What is
whole
shit
lot of I
marriage?
don't understand what the fuck is going on.
That's a bunch of shit marriage. Also, go get.
Yeah, right. Married Goget. I just feel sorry for you.
You know what? Very first time someone's ever got my sympathy.
Literally.
Absent.
So who's this chick you're talking about?
What?
Bebe,
What?
she's not
Just
some
VTubers?
chick. She's a VTuber.
Oh,
She's a
there you go.
queen.
There you go.
Yes,
That's why I don't know who
queen.
you're talking about. That's why I don't know who you're talking
You
about.
don't want
I
to,
mean, I'm
bro.
not-
Fucking
I'm not
VTubers,
gonna-
like, ugh.
I'm not saying she's a queen, but she's a very good.
I mean, they might be a
Funny
little
shit.
better than Ethots, but just only ever so barely.
I don't.
That's not
like,
true. That's not
No,
true.
it
Guru's
it-
hilarious.
it's very
I don't
true.
get the. I don't get the appeal of YouTubers.
I
Honestly,
don't
You know,
fucking either.
You're
but-
switching face cam with animated avatar.
I mean, it's
like,
yeah,
you
it's
know.
Ethots, but with anime avatars, and it's like, yeah, I get the appeal, but they're still Ethots.
That's so subjective, though.
What do you mean so
Which-
subjective? They're
which
fucking
ones are- which
Ethots.
one-
Well, that's like just your personal like whatever saying that they are. That's not actually confirming. Or
They do
anything.
exactly what Ethots do, except with an anime avatar.
Like,
Like.
What do you mean, like?
he
Like,
thought to yell
fucking-
at you. He thought to yell at you for not giving them money. VTubers are happy when you give them $1.
Not all
so.
Ethots do that. No, they fucking string guys
So
along.
you're just throwing them all in the broader statement of ethoughts. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think that works that way, but all right.
it does work that way.
Well, I know like some of them are fake as fuck too.
Well,
Like,
fake or
some
not,
of
like
them-
Belle
some of them
Delphine
don't
is
even
still an
know-
Ethot, even though she's not fucking like a rancid hoe who hates
Yeah.
our audience, or you know,
That's
just
something
like
No,
Fuck.
I'm just saying, like, you know, like the V2, some of these VTubers don't even like anime, so I just find it silly. I just find it funny, you know. But I know what they're doing. They're tapping to that audience, you know, the VTube audience.
It depends on like who you're watching, right?
Yeah.
And that's what the whole thing we're trying to say is that not all of them are like that.
well, no, but
he's
they
just
all
throwing them
do.
in the broad statement
No,
of
no, no,
ethos.
no, 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 no. Like I
No,
said,
what you just said.
He was talking
no,
about, he was
no.
talking about ethos. I'm talking about like a handful of fakes, VTubers.
Like
you know.
they might not all be rancid hoes who fucking, you know, hate their audience and fucking shit like that, but they all fucking
Yo.
rely on simps and fucking
Incorrect. I don't sim, so incorrect.
but they rely on
Saves his
simps.
money.
This motherfucker.
Blue saves his money, just like I save my money. Let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah, he saves his money to spend on Pokemon waifus.
Yeah, right.
Well,
What,
well
you don't?
actually, I mean, to be fair, I did donate 100. You know, never mind. I'm not saying anything.
Gotta
what?
collect 'em
What?
all.
Oh, what was that? Yeah. Go on. Go on. What were you saying?
Who'd you donate to, Blue?
Here somewhere.
None of your business. I
It was
donated 100
Gura.
bucks.
It was Gura. It was Gura.
Shut up! Shut up!
It was
I was gonna
Bruh.
say
I'm
Gara,
calling
dude.
it.
I was gonna say yeah. I was
Yeah,
gonna say
but-
shark bitch. Yeah, definitely.
Does it really matter though?
She's funny, okay? She's funny.
No,
also
it
in the
doesn't
game,
matter.
but also
No,
she's
it
really
really
funny. So
Most EFOTs don't have nice feet. I'd rather fall on Mary Go-Get than simp.
I would rather do any other fucking girl besides go get.
I mean, I guess just go get a nice feet. I'm asking for a friend on that one. No.
No, you should ask yourself.
Excuse me.
I would rather neither simp nor Mary Go-Get, but that's just me.
Yeah,
I'd
but
rather commit
here's the thing.
suicide than do anything with go get.
I have to power
Well, here's the thing. I'd rather not date because dating's a waste of time and money. Also, yeah. Anyways, no bet there. It's all real.
Watch my back.
Also, I got Golden Gunted. That's cool. I mean, want to play Mayhem?
This guy, oh, so I can get my 25 games for the stupid shit.
Yeah. You're just using me again. That's
I was
no,
playing
well,
last night. I only need 5 more games, unless you need to play, and then I'll keep playing.
Hey, you better keep
Oh,
playing,
fuck,
dirty
fuck,
bitch.
fuck. I can't see.
That's a joke. I'm joking.
Got
Oh my
green
God.
goo all over me.
I can't see.
So, anyways, how do y'all feel about Wallpaper Engine being a huge success in China? Apparently,
What?
I say bring it.
Wallpaper
Wallpaper
Engine is extremely successful in China, and it's because of porn. Because for some reason,
Because it gets through the. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
CCP's regulations.
Funny you
So,
mentioned that.
Wallpaper mention. Wallpaper. What now? I don't know what you're talking
Engine.
Wallpaper Engine.
Wallpaper
is
engine,
an
the thing for your
auto-
wallpapers.
Yeah,
is-
you can get porn stuff on Wallpaper Engine, and it gets through the sensors.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Some of it's not too bad.
about. That's
A
funny.
lot
Yeah.
of it's shit.
Fucking interesting you mentioned that though, because oh man, China has now created a cap, a headgear, whatever you want to call it, that can detect porn.
What?
Yep.
The
And
hell?
yeah, so it goes on your head,
What shit is that?
and then when you're watching porn or looking at porn, it can detect it, and they're using that to censor stuff.
That's stupid.
That's
Holy
funny.
shit.
why?
It's
though? Like,
funny and stupid.
all right,
Well,
so
why
where
is
it goes-
because China's banned
China.
porn. It's
Because it's China. What kind of
No,
dumb
why,
question is
what's the
that?
crusades? Why does China have such a crusade against porn?
why,
look at- they
it's
look at
immoral,
porn.
blah blah blah. Even though
Immoral and
literally,
disrespectful.
I literally
Isn't
just
it,
saw
like-
a clip of some dude basically trying to grab and drag a Chinese girl into his fucking apartment. And a bunch of people that like kind of help her, but even then they didn't really do that because they don't want to get hit with like a lawsuit. Any of the other Chinese people. It's
I mean, I
fucking weird.
assume
I-
it's
I
for
don't-
all the same reasons that they like ban, like, oh, what's the guys that are
You
like
fucking
girls?
Chinese fuck.
Traps,
Yeah, but there's a different word for it.
femboys.
Yeah, they ban like femboys and they have masculinity classes or whatever in their schools and shit.
Yeah, but here's the thing. China's
can
like
understand
one of the
the-
biggest countries that basically just grabs their women and drags them into fucking like whatever. Fucking crazy.
I can understand the whole masculinity shit, but like I just don't get the like they're like it's not like I was thinking like it's not like a religious like hatred.
Oh
of
shit.
As like religion. It's like if the
Yeah,
argument
that
is
Zero
porn,
guy is lagging all over the place, and I hate everything
Oh my
about
God.
it.
Well, I assume it's because, like, you know, like porn allows you to be less manly because you don't have to, you know, be manly to get a
I
woman.
don't think it works that way, but
Well, kinda.
well,
Right?
it makes it so
Like,
you don't need to go out and fuck to get rid of those feelings. So
like if your only option for sexual release is to actually go get a real woman and attract her, then that's kind of that's an incentive to be manly.
yeah,
Or
by
you do in
dragging
China's
her and bringing
case.
her into your fucking house.
Well, but that's no, that's something else meme.
That's
I
kidnapping.
doubt it. It's probably hand in hand with it. Come on.
I mean, I guess if you like the caveman fucking conk a chick over the head and drag her into your fucking
Big
tent
blonde
or
woman,
whatever.
you come here now, once.
Literally just
Go.
China. It's literally it, yeah. Like, I see that shit all the time on Twitter, and I'm just like, that's fucking crazy.
Excuse me.
Either
Like,
way,
just following Sea Milk and Serpent ZA on fucking Twitter.
'Cause
And
that
they
could-
retweet that shit, and it's just crazy. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
That could be part of it because we don't know if it's a direct causation or just a correlation, but as access to porn increases, sexual assault and rape and all that decreases. I mean, it makes sense to me. You get an outlet other than, you know, 'cause some guys it's pretty much impossible, right? So for those
right.
guys, you know, if they don't have any other outlet, you know, some of them are eventually just going to succumb to the temptation of dragging a woman into their apartment. You know, just like if you know, some people can't make money, eventually some of them are going to succumb to the temptation of stealing.
China bad, TLDR.
I mean, just
That's kind of crazy though. Like,
the porn is just it's a little ridiculous, China's.
and yeah, you go to like any of these fucking videos host sites, dude, and you'll see tons of like fucking, you know, Chinese porn like crazy. It's good. Good.
Garuda,
It's
with
good
how
shit.
much you keep mentioning Goget and his toes and marrying him, I'm thinking you actually don't mind the prospect of doing that, so.
You probably you probably definitely got dropped in your head if you think Go-Get's a great steal.
I'd rather no homo suck on Goget's toes than join the Hebrew Israelites. Like, I think you just want Goget's toes, but.
Yeah, but it's just I just think it's a little ridiculous, but you know, China will be whatever they want to be, but you know, they'll take over the world eventually.
Oh, but apparently Blue's in the closet.
I think
nice, right? I live in New York, so I can afford a closet. Closet like $1,000.
You know, I think China. You know, I think China pretty much took over the world. You know,
They're getting there.
They're definitely trying.
I mean, the problem is I don't think their model will like succeed as well. So it's just like I think it's just shit's gonna hit the fan regardless. Like I just don't think like their envisions of the world will work. Just like how
it doesn't.
Same things that the World Economic Forum's envisions of the world is not going to work as well, and it's just going to all.
Bro, if China had it their way, we'd be going back to the fucking, the three factions of the world, bro. Like if they had it their way, like honestly. That's just, I mean.
Which three factions?
All the above, obviously.
Wu Wei Shu, obviously. Jeez.
Tell me all the factions. I'm gonna join the one that wins.
Oh, welcome
Oh, you're one of
to
those
Woo.
people.
We are all Woo in this case. Let's go. Fuck Wei and fuck Shu. We're all Woo people. Let's go. We're fighting all the yellow turbans, right? That's how this works.
So, all right, now I gotta ask you all a question: are tomboys gay?
No, because they're women.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
If you
No.
said
Now
Tom
what if they're
girls,
just
then I'd be
now
like,
what
that's
if
gay.
now what if it's just Blue when he says tomboys? He means all the boys are named Tom.
Of course.
And he's
I'm
doing
doing
a
that.
play on words. Just throwing it out there,
Didge, why you're not supposed to say this the quiet part out loud? Honestly, like, I'm so mad. I can't like quietly shove things around here. All you do is just
Yeah,
expose
true.
me.
Blue's
Yeah.
like, Brim, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to jerk off to this shit.
Because I'm trying to find that meme. Like, meme, you posted something saying that like you like tomboys. You just
tomboys, you just want a boy with titties.
you know what? Sometimes it's
I mean,
facts, to be honest.
I'm not opposed to that.
You know what? Sometimes it's
A
kinda
dude,
facts.
but with tits and a vag? Like, yeah, all right. I accept your proposition, sir.
I win. Checkmate.
Get to the indicated pod for resupply.
Anyways, you just. Oh wait, hold on. I found my rank.
Required the team player back.
Tomboy, it sounds like you want a boyfriend with titties.
I am an
bro.
anarchist, not a socialist, Marxist, commie, or a progressive. Okay, that's nice. Too bad
Quit your gay,
anarchy is
Lamau, get outta here.
fucking. Too bad anarchy is just as silly as all of those.
I mean, there's no actual value. Don't get me wrong, Garuda. I used to think like that. I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Like, there's literally no value to anarchy whatsoever. That's
The
actually a
value
fact.
is me doing your ass. Let's go.
Yeah,
No,
anarchists.
I mean, that
anarchists
is
have.
your beliefs, Garuda. I respect them. I'm just telling you, you're
Oh,
factually
I
incorrect.
don't respect it. Anarchists
I
have the
do.
exact same problem as socialists and commies. Commies think if they just get the government perfect, then everything else will be perfect. Anarchists say, well, if we just get rid of government, then everything will be perfect. Okay, bro, I'm sure.
Yeah, because that worked back in
Yeah, if you
Forever
want to go
ago.
back to caveman days, which by the way they still had, I mean, rudimentary, but it was still a form
A
of government.
hierarchy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit. That,
Team
if you
startup,
want to
by
be
the way.
ruled by
Tribe.
warlords, go ahead, but
Maintain the
I'm
energy
good.
security.
Bro, the tribe. You got to think about the tribe. You can't
Yeah,
be doing
my-
that shit. You got to think about everyone. What are you, stupid?
My version of the government would just be
The government giving
dirty
me anime titties.
liberalism. Dirty liberalism.
Dirty liberalism could be fun. Could be fun. But, they can't let it be fun, so that's whatever.
Well, it's better than the alternatives, to be honest. Because I'm not a
Surrounded.
libertarian. Because I actually
Those
live
poor
in the real world.
bastards.
I'm not a conservative because I don't agree with
Here's some ammo.
a religious culture and all that. Obviously, economic.
I don't believe in a religious culture, but I also believe a religious culture should be allowed to live. But the extremes need to understand that there needs a balance between the two.
Sounds like a cult. Can I join?
No, it also depends because
What, is it not a cult? I'm down.
I mean I wouldn't call it a cult because there's difference between
someone
I mean, if it's
Better
a sex cult, I'm totally down.
There's actually a big difference between a cult and a religion.
yeah I'm not
No,
going.
it doesn't mean
but a
religion.
religion can also turn into a cult.
Well, of course, yeah. But like almost any, I mean, there's cults around fucking around animes or specific animes or e-girls or fucking like how many e-girls have a cult like following?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that people just follow girls like that and donate them money.
I know, right? Who would do something crazy like that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know. It depends what you mean. Also, it's just if you're talking about like conservatism, like Ben Shapiro style ones, I'm not conservative, but you know, it's
Ben
like,
Shapiro.
He's fucking more right than just about anybody else in
and I don't
the
and I mean
political
that bad
space
way,
right
'cause
now.
It's like it's rather I'm on his side or I'm just gonna be hanged by a bunch of socialists. And I'm just like I choose the option where I don't die and get to live in a society that actually functions and doesn't just kill itself in the name of selfish
Kill yourself in the
Capitalist
name of
capitalist anarchy. Yeah, like you know what that ends up with? Corporations with private armies. Fucking
Called kill squads that go into your home
So,
and try to kill you because you disagree with somebody.
because you
There
you go.
didn't buy Crest, right? You bought fucking some other brand of toothpaste, so the Crest fucking private army kill squads come and fucking find you.
So like Cyberpunk 2077, but fewer laws.
and worse, yeah.
Wait, Pete, real quick. Sorry to
or
interrupt you.
I guess the Outer Worlds.
Oh, blue. What the hell happened?
I don't know.
How do you change your windows to a different like set of? Actually, wait, never mind. I can just use Task Manager. I left it open. That's good.
How do you what?
What?
My
He
destiny
didn't
kind of
mention
just my destiny kind of just shot itself in the foot at the moment.
BRB.
I'm about to shut the pod.
Capitalism is the only avenue to anarchists' code. Socialism, communism, and Marxist ideology. Well, yeah, socialism, communism, and Marxist ideology is far from freedom.
I want the freedom to groom.
The problem with anarchy is that there are problems that happen that cannot be there is no other viable solution than something that equates to a government.
Wait, P, what key was it that you can like change your windows to a different tab to like pull out Task Manager if that's
Oh, you mean
Control
no. Windows key tab.
Okay.
Yeah, Windows key tab allows you to switch your desktops, and then you can open up Task Manager.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I had to just do that real quick because my destiny is like,
Oh shit! No, don't come after me.
I don't know why Destiny's just causing me so many issues right now.
Dude,
Because it's your
Destiny has
destiny.
been running like shit, and it keeps getting
Mine's literally
worse. Oh no!
My destiny's been fine for like the past month.
I'm not promoting anarchy. I just want a rule of no government and more tribes. Why would you want more tribes? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, no, like there's no such thing as no government, because if you were somehow able to get rid of governments, a government would pop up and then take over. So it's you might as well have a government that works fairly well and allows you a say in it, because whether you like it or not, you will have a government above you in some form or another.
You mean a cult?
But yeah, meme, like as far as Destiny 2 running, like dude, like multi-threaded rendering has been broken for like 2 years now, or like a year and a half.
Yeah, I'm literally fine.
But this is like the second time Destiny froze for me today, and it's weird because like I checked my Task Manager and it only shows Destiny showing issues because like everything else is running fine, and I'm only running like at 40% of my RAM. So that's
you're fine. It's like, yeah, okay, it runs pretty good for me too, but that doesn't negate the fact that it still doesn't perform nearly as well as it could, and one of the reasons is because multi-threaded rendering is broken and they refuse to fix it.
Well, that's a bungo problem.
Well, yeah, that's
Not a me problem. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
they
What happened?
removed Slave Leia from Star Wars now?
Yep.
Wait,
Oh yeah.
they actually did that? That was a
No,
thing?
although there's a T-shirt coming out that's got basically it's just a bunch of prints of the poster, the
Super
original theater poster for
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. Yeah, and instead of Slave Leia being right there, I think she was front and center in the middle at the bottom. And
Oh, boy.
You are here to
yeah, not
Oh
anymore.
boy.
come your first
Oh
targets.
boy.
Eyes open.
So we're going full fucking autismo mode. Got it.
Anything bikini is automatic bad, even though Twitch is.
Well,
infested
unless
with
you're an ugly ass
Yeah,
fucking
right.
blue-haired land whale,
Unless
then
you're a
of course beautiful
unless
at
you're
any
a-
size.
Ugly, yeah, because
How dare you,
ugly
Pete? It's
women,
about body positivity.
I'll be back.
ugly women have to be appreciated, and Carrie Fisher, God rest her soul, has to be degraded because she was born beautiful.
Bruh. So what are they gonna do? Like, what are they just gonna say? Like, are they just fighting to get that shit removed? Is that all this is? Like, what's the
No,
point
like
of
the
that?
the shirt is coming out, and it doesn't
Yeah.
have the post. Like I said, the print on it is everything about the original poster except for Slave Leia.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. So just erasing history, changing things.
Of
Like
course.
they always do. Yeah.
Yo, pretty soon this is gonna be another one of those things where everybody's gonna claim it's the Mandela effect. Just so you know.
Yeah, right.
I'm telling you, dude, it's
What-
gonna happen, bro.
You talk about
It's the
Slave
thing.
Leia. Leia was never in a slave bikini.
Yep. Just like yeah.
Yeah, or like how Han Solo did not shoot first. I'm like,
Yeah, right.
Fuck
Yeah,
talking
Han
about?
Solo didn't shoot first. What are you talking
They're
about?
literally trying to do that though, and it's just like you can't do that because Han Solo definitely shot first. It's like granted, it's on a VHS recording, but it happened.
Rather die in a civil war than bend, I assume you mean knee, to a non-anarchist.
Wait, what? Bend
Well,
the knee to
that's
what?
that's
Hold on.
that's
Bend
definitely
the knee
one.
to a non-anarchist.
Yeah, so anybody
huh?
not an anarchist. Okay, well that's definitely what's going to happen.
If you're an anarchist, you wouldn't be bending your knee to anybody. That's the whole point of anarchy. What? Hold on.
Yeah, you wouldn't bend a knee until the big guy makes you bend a knee.
No, you would never
Well,
bend your
that's-
knee. Period. That's the point. Like,
Yeah,
the
they'll
hell?
bend a knee. They'll bend your knee for you.
Yeah, exactly. They'll break
Well,
your
that's the
fucking
thing.
legs,
It's
right?
like you won't bend the knee, but then they'll shoot you, and okay, there it goes.
But
And
like,
it
because it opens up for discussion when he says he'll never bend his knee to a non-anarchist. So you're telling
Yeah,
me
that
if I was
doesn't
an
quite make a
anarchist
lot of
leader,
sense, but yeah, right.
like you'd bend your knee to me, like what? Like that makes no sense because anarchy is not about that at all. In fact, like, huh?
Oh, shocker. so
Garuda,
personal.
are you coming in fully loaded, bro? Like, are you good? Are you Gucci, bro?
I wonder if
are you
he's
getting
just
back on, Blue?
trolling Pete.
I think he should.
Oh,
I
I
think
think
he
he
is trolling
is,
Pete at
but-
this point. Yeah, I think he has to be trolling Pete, bro. Like,
He was talking about Go Get's fucking whatever.
Toes.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's fucking with Pete. He has to be.
It's like libertarians making a bunch of bad points, and they're like, "Oh, we're trolling, by the way."
We all
Just
know,
a
we
meme,
all know-
bro.
yeah, we
No,
all
they
know
definitely 100% dropped on their head a couple times.
we all know
calling it.
imperialism is best system.
Hey, man.
I mean, it worked for Rome. Just saying.
All the best places in the world to live are the places that were conquered by Imperial Britain. I'm just saying.
You know what? The British did nothing wrong. That's my new position, by the way.
The only thing British did was be British.
Even though British people themselves are a bunch of cunt bastards, but
Well,
you know,
now.
right?
I mean, yeah, they're a bunch of commies now.
Moral of the
No,
story
I was
is,
just saying cunt bastards in general, but that works.
moral of the story is bring back the British Empire.
Yeah.
That's my position now.
Reloading.
Yeah. Somebody just lit off some big ass fireworks outside my house.
We David would have loved to put
Oh, that was a drive-by.
Could have been.
This California we're talking about.
Hey,
No.
every year on the 4th of July, I get to play out my favorite game. Was that a gunshot or a firework?
Yeah, right. Depends on the neighborhood.
Oh, it got so common where I lived in Bullhead, dude, where I just started assuming it was all fireworks.
Oh, did you take that ammo? You cocksucker.
The pod safely open.
Well, I hope you like the meme I just posted.
I ain't
Check it out in a
fucking
moment.
bending a knee. I'd rather die before I kneel. I am not a socialist, communist, or government, Democrat, Republican. All right, bro. Like, whatever.
No, you're just brain dead, but that's okay. I
No,
still love you.
no, that is totally incorrect. Because you are a socialist, Democrat, Republican.
Just kidding,
If
I
you're
don't
an
love you.
anarchist, that's gonna bend your knee to another anarchist. That's exactly what that means.
Ram, don't say that. They're not smart. They won't understand.
Garuda, come on, man! You gotta be trolling, bro. You gotta
I'm pretty
be
sure
trolling.
he is, but you know, whatever. I don't.
Are you sure it's a he?
This tweet, this tweet
That's
posted
deeply
funny.
offensive. Also,
Which
If you hit,
oh, the
if you hit
Kot-
a girl, if you hit a girl just because she hit you, one, you have shitty parents. Two, you're a pussy. And someone replied,
What?
"These hands
So-
bisexual."
You like that? These hands bisexual, bitch. It's buy one get one free.
also, I agree with that meme. Among Us,
Among Us.
Even
Look how
how- even
happy
how
she
we-
is.
dude, she's so adorable.
I don't know. She's kind of sus to me.
Shut up.
yeah, I love that. Just because your assailant's a chick, that means you can't hit her.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wait, you don't let your women just hit you guys? Like, what's wrong with you? Are you
know,
broken?
right?
Depends
Wait.
what kind of depends on what kind of hit we're talking about.
You know, nice
I'm-
good old left hook. You know, the one
Yeah.
that wakes you up in the morning.
I mean, I'm not pro-violence, but asterisk.
I mean,
I'm
if
not
you- if
pro-violent,
Sometimes
but
you gotta show a
if you want
chick
it
your
rough-
pimp hand strong.
Like you want it rough under the sheets, you know.
yeah, I'm willing to choke a bitch and fuck her at the same time. I'm just saying, you want to be choked? Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, shit.
enough
You
to
want
where
me
she
to
can't
punch
breathe
you? I don't know
anymore?
about that
She
shit.
just stops existing. My
That sounds
favorite.
like entrapment to me, but you know,
Punch me,
whatever.
Yeah. If I have a bitch go punch me, daddy, no, that's
No,
not.
that's entrapment, dude.
That's not.
Like, I'm not getting arrested in like 3 years, so I'm good.
He hit me every day. Well,
When
man,
is-
we have a recording of you asking for it.
Make sure you record your sexy fun time where you choke the bitch out and maybe punch her a bit.
Damn, me really going in.
Yeah, I'm literally just saying nonsense, to be honest. But someone will believe me at some point.
Oh my god, dude, one of my book series on fucking Amazon. Oh god, it's crazy and there's a bunch of context, but this guy the king of a neighboring country's sister is a part demon, and the king wants this guy to marry her because he's willing to fuck like animal chicks and you know, crazy shit like that. And
Crazy
so
shit. Nah, bro, that's like normal.
Well, to us it is, but apparently on that world it's crazy shit. So the dude is talking to the king about it, and he's like, yeah, but you know, hey, because apparently demons are quite violent sometimes. He's like, well, if she steps out of line, you know, I'm gonna have to punish her. And the king's like, well, by punish, do you mean? And then one of his other chicks is like, spankings. Fucking hilarious, dude.
Let's count.
Yeah, that's good.
She wants that.
In one piece.
There's some good, but like I told Blue about him, but he didn't seem into it. But yeah, they're basically like harem
I don't read
Mangas.
harem anime too.
they're basically like harem
experience
mangas
that.
or harem anime, but in book form, and they're fucking hilarious, dude.
I
Oh.
approve.
Yep, I approve too. That's why I read it.
I don't fall for those. I don't read harem stuff because I don't fall for the trap.
But Blue, I heard you were nothing but a trap. So you're lying now? Like,
Yeah, but the problem is like that stuff is made for people who, you know, never mind. Anyways,
who prefer strictly dickly that are of the same sex? Or is it gay with extra steps and you're going through a surgery just to be attracted to the same sex that you claim that you weren't attracted to, which would make you straight? But now you're gay because you're trans, you know. I'm just going through the extra steps of sexuality, you know. There's gay and there's gay with extra steps.
The trans man that gets pregnant by a trans woman, and it's like,
Yep.
you mean straight
That's
with
how
extra
that works,
steps?
guys. That's how that works.
I thought, isn't it supposed to be the other way around?
No, it's
Nope.
straight with extra steps. Like Pete
Yep.
said.
I mean, I don't know.
Straight with extra steps, gay with extra steps, and bisexual with extra steps.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like,
I
don't
never
know
knew to
anymore.
begin with.
Because I thought trans women are the men. So it's like.
How dare you assume
yeah, the
that,
trans
sir?
man who is a woman who becomes a man gets pregnant by a trans woman, which is a man that becomes a woman.
Right.
Wait, are
Because
we
I
sure
heard
about this one,
trans
though?
men got pregnant, so I got confused.
We all confused, bro. We all confused.
No, they're confused.
Oh, they are
Let's be
too,
honest.
but you know,
Let's be honest.
that's why I say everybody's confused.
When the trans are also just as confused by their transness.
I don't know how they keep all this shit
Like,
straight, but you know,
It's because it's not.
It's because
No,
they're not.
I-
It's
That's
because
pretty
they're not.
good. I like it.
Because they're not transparent about shit.
Oh, they're trans something.
Oh.
Bruh, the fucking stupidity and all this. Why can't people just admit that when they're gay, dude? Like, is that really that hard? Like, no, you have to come up with some bullshit. Oh my god, I was born a female.
No,
You
like
know how many
how.
times I've heard dudes say that stupid shit?
Bro, you know how dude, I've seen a couple of like those trans people in real life and they always look fucking gross.
yeah.
Yeah, they all look gross.
Especially when it's fucking male to female. Like because they don't do the extra steps to make it actually look good. They just like it's just
Dude,
awful.
there is no looking good.
Well,
They don't-
let
they
me
don't
go
try
with
to
Very
presentable
few of them.
instead. Let me go with
Very few of
presentable
them
instead.
pull off. Very few of them pull it off. Everyone
look
else.
ass.
Yeah, even
gross.
presentable, like how
It's kind of a stretch, yeah.
Yeah.
but, like, I'm trying to be a little nice about it.
yeah, like it is the very rare fucking Thai femboy that can actually look like a chick.
Everyone else
And
looks
even
gross.
then, you usually like you can kind of tell. It's like, yeah, your face
You're like,
is a little
hold up, wait a
off.
second. look at that manly chin.
What is that bulge under your pants?
It's not a big deal.
Why? Wait,
You telling me you love me no matter what?
JC, are you telling me you're into fucking traps with big BPs? Like, bro, that's fucking.
No, but Nathan
Crap.
Fillion is.
That's right, I am. That's right, I am. What am I?
Nathan Fillion, poet,
He's into
gay
traps with
porn
big
actor.
BPs.
What?
You
is
know
in
it.
So-
You know it. You
podcast?
know it.
So there's a movie with Captain America. I can't remember which
Starring
Chris
Nathan
that
Fillion?
is.
Yep.
Which Chris is that? Not Pine, not Hemsworth.
Chris Pratt?
Pratt.
It's
Yeah.
Or Evans. Chris Evans is Captain
And
America.
it's got not Topher Grace as well. And Topher Grace is this fucking gay writer dude. And he's like talking about this fake Korean soap opera, and he's like,
Oh, boy.
it's so beautiful. He is a man who became a woman, and she is a woman that became a man, and then they find each other. You know, first they meet each other while they're still both a man, the man and the woman that they were born, and then they meet each other again after they become the opposite.
Yeah, after they
And it's like,
transition.
and it's so
Are you
beautiful.
Sure
It's
this
like,
just isn't made by the Westerners.
yeah, and it's like, wait a second. You mean a couple of people who sterilized themselves and could have had a perfectly normal relationship now meet and can't have kids and are gonna deal with a whole host of health issues because of their bullshit? Like, yeah, that's an awfully beautiful story.
Yeah, this. I don't understand these people.
It's like a really weird and very specific fucked up Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet if it was rated R.
Nah,
You're just
not rated
projecting.
R.
You actually
Sorry,
don't
not
want to
rated R.
have this. Blah, blah,
Ro-
blah. You
Romeo
want
and
this?
Juliet, but gay.
Romeo and Juliet written by Schizo.
although the difference would be, at least in Romeo and Juliet, they killed themselves. I mean, that's kind of.
Well, hey,
Silver lining.
with the rate of trans suicide, you know.
Yeah, I knew so I was gonna pick up on it. There it is.
Hey man, you throw me the layup, I'll tip it in.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I threw it out there. I was hoping for someone to pick it up and run with it.
I can reopen the treasure vault.
I swear,
Well-
natural selection is not doing its job.
No.
Well, it kind of is. The problem is that they're forcing it on kids before they even know what the fuck is going on. So, otherwise, I'd have no problem with these idiots fucking sterilizing themselves.
Like if there's that much wrong with you, you had to cut yourself to feel normal. I mean, I don't know what I can do for you at that point.
Area remains
Well, just quote the great George Carlin. Nothing says self-esteem like perforating and piercing your body to really give out the image of self-confidence. Yeah, you see somebody, putting like a hot iron on their scalp, with piercings all over them. That's someone I could say is a happy guy.
For a cleaners convention.
I just like the people who can't accept themselves as they are, demanding that other people accept them as they are.
Yeah, and I agree with people like you. The whole, the keep it away from the children. I agree with that. That's why we should ban circumcisions.
Yeah,
I did not consent.
you're right,
Took away
actually.
my- it took away my
Wait,
baby.
based opinions tourism? When does that happen? Pause.
Well, I've been had that opinion, bro.
And
Let's
the
get
fact that
serious.
circumcision isn't treated with the same seriousness that female circumcision is it really fucking irritates me. And
I forgot they circumcise women.
well,
They gotta cut off.
What?
It's because men are never victims, only women.
well, but it just shows how fucking biased society and humanity in general is towards women.
Actually shows how biased most women are, but
Like,
or at least
no,
Biased?
virgin.
First I've heard of it, circumcision on women. What they snipped.
I knew about it, but I don't really understand how it works.
Well, they
Yeah.
snipped
They
the
cut
nip,
off
is
the
that what's going on?
clitoris.
What?
Tasty.
Luckily,
Can I
Yeah,
get
ma-
like,
makes
can-
it
can I get
nearly
that cut off and get
impossible.
it put on a cake.
Makes it nearly impossible for women to have any sexual pleasure, which the certain religious sect that shall remain nameless thinks
it
it
Jews?
does is
Religious?
no for the female one. They
I'm trying to think of which one it is.
yeah, it starts with an M,
Religious.
but I can't yeah.
Is it bad if I say it? Can I try to say it? Can I guess?
It's Muslims, but hey.
That's what I was gonna guess.
I was thinking Mormon, silly.
I was thinking Mormons.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know. They think it keeps women from cheating, which I don't know, maybe, but that seems a bit extreme. How about you pleasure your fucking woman?
I don't think
How
they care.
dare you
I don't
make
think
them want? How dare you assume that they want to pleasure their women?
Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
Woman
want
is
you
to
take it.
designed to pleasure me.
I think they want
That's
to
actually
pleasure-
how they look. That's actually how they look at it.
I
Yeah,
know.
I'm pretty sure they want to pleasure themselves, not give a shit about the women.
I mean,
Well, they
that's
also
sort of
think
it.
women are for reproduction and boys are for pleasure. So but
What aren't they?
Literal baby factories, but it's a problem. It's a problem in America, right?
I don't see that as a problem. We had that same idea back in the 1950s, and we all want to return to that. Maybe we need to start looking to these people for hope.
What
Hey, man.
Handmaid's Tale? Is that what's going on?
Muslims are right about women.
Oh fuck.
That was the greatest fucking psyop ever done.
Of ever.
Golden age.
No,
That was back when America was great, right?
That was back when we were.
Yeah,
great.
actually.
Yeah, back when we had urban sprawl. I love that.
Yeah, back before women had right to vote.
Back when people,
Yeah, that
Back when
was
people looked at-
glorious.
I remember the time where we thought public transportation was so antiquated and only for the poor.
It
Yeah.
kind of is.
Have you seen the movie Lincoln?
Except it's only for the poor in America. Everywhere else, it's normal.
So have you seen the movie Lincoln?
I have not
Linkin
No.
Park.
Is that the Vampire Hunter one?
No, that's
No,
Abe
it's
Lincoln,
not that one.
Vampire Hunter.
Not
Dude,
not
that shit was
one.
pretty dope.
Yeah, that movie was good. No, I'm talking like the historical, biopic, whatever.
No.
With yeah, there's a segment there because like when Lincoln wanted to end slavery, you have these Democrats, these people like complaining, oh, giving these people rights. What's next? Like the black people, blah. And you see people like upset at what's next? Women. Oh! Actually, like what's next? Giving women equal rights. That's when people that's when these guys.
No,
like,
you know
got
what
off
the
their
no,
chairs,
and
got
this
off their
just
chairs like no, that's too
and
much.
this
bro.
just shows the bias of and fucking warped reality of these assholes because women had universal suffrage before black men did.
What do you mean black men? You mean black women? What are you, stupid?
Yeah, actually. Yeah. So women had universal suffrage before non-white men.
I just thought that segment was funny. I
Yeah.
should look for
The
it on
way
YouTube.
these
I don't know,
people
let's see
imagine
if-
history,
uh,
it was fucking black men or non-white men got the vote before women did. No, that's not true at all, actually. Yeah. Women had universal suffrage several years before all men were given the right to vote.
Well, what about the black women? Nobody
Yeah,
ever
but-
talks about the black women.
Yeah, but women are the most oppressed.
Are they real? We'll never know.
Yeah.
They're really not.
What's a
They're fake.
woman?
Wow, we don't know
Dude,
according to fucking
Don't
what's
you know?
what's his name?
Well, actually,
Who did that movie?
Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh. Yeah, according to Matt Walsh, nobody knows what a woman is.
What's a woman?
I will say,
Well, it's this weird mythical creature that
I have
seems to
seen-
think they have rights.
I have seen them in the wild, and I want to bring you to Exhibit A, Market Basket. You can see them flocking in the wild. You see them gathering food for the winter.
You know what? You all laugh, but you don't get it. White women are the most oppressed women to ever exist in human history.
White women
Not just
and
the
different-
most oppressed women, the most oppressed people.
Well,
Right? Dude,
Wealthy
honestly,
wealthy suburban
Literally just
white
the
women are
Irish
the most
exists.
are the most oppressed class ever to exist on the history
White
in the
women?
history of humanity.
Literally the Irish, literally the fucking Jews, literally everybody, but okay, specifically.
That's
even
they
now-
believe.
Aren't the Jews white? Like at least
No.
back then.
Depends on what
yeah.
Jews you're talking about.
Ashkenazi
No,
Jews
but-
are.
I don't know if Jews are really considered like a race at this point, are they? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
they're
Not
they
really.
are. It
are they?
No, like,
It
Jews are-
is.
No, Jews are not white. Like
Well, what about white Jews?
or European. Like,
Well,
no, like, actual like.
So-
Like
I
an
found
actual
it.
ethnic, there's like an actual ethnic background. Like,
So
It
are
is.
Christians because I mean Christianity came from that same area. Are Christians their own race too? Oh fuck! I don't want them to
no,
go out
it's-
preaching about
Christianity is not an actual like ethnic genetic line. Like
But what makes like well then what are the Jews then? Weren't the things that like united the Jews their belief in God or well the Torah and all that fun stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So I found a clip.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point though. Like, what makes a fucking race from a religion standpoint? With
Well,
being
race
entwined,
is
you know what I mean?
genetics.
Or they were
Right,
genetically
I
programmed
get
to believe
that.
in God?
That's Jew is an
They're
interesting
brainwashed
category
to do it.
because there are
Got
both
'em.
there it
You have
it is-
Hebrews.
it is
and
used to
Jews.
describe both the ethnic background and the religious sect or whatever religious
Well,
group.
what about Muslims? would Muslims be like
They're
considered?
not. Muslims are
Arabs?
Arabic. That's like,
Well, not
or
all.
mostly, not all. Not all. I said it's like,
Well, then that begs the question. Okay, so what bridges the difference between Arab and Muslim?
Well,
What happened?
again, it's only this is only weird because Jew is unique in that aspect that it is both.
Yeah,
Right?
that's. I mean, yeah, but I don't know what like. That's the thing, though. That's a good point, though. When you think about it, when you like, I know it's fucking, probably dumb to even think about shit like this. But sometimes I kind of wonder
I
about
almost
it too.
killed
It's
a
like,
guy.
I'm
at
a
what
dumb
point?
guy.
What point? But no, at what point?
Make you feel like you can't be
like
dumb,
you
shut
draw
up,
the
are you
line,
stupid?
right? Like, is that a race or is it a religion? And then, like you said, Pete, Judaism is both, right? Like you have both people that. Okay, so what genetically defines them?
Well,
Because
genetically,
Jews are-
it's just the
Jews are
inheritance.
Because Jews are Middle Eastern.
Right. But like, I think that's like the majority of religion in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, most
What
Muslims,
do you mean?
Christians are technically from Middle East. So is fucking everything else that came
Well,
out of the original book.
historically, sure.
Right.
Yeah, but not. But again, this is all this is like you guys are thinking of it wrong, right? It's the word
Special
Jew is unique in that it is used to describe both the ethnic group of people and the religious group of people.
Oh, okay. So
Right.
it's
Okay,
I
Muslim
think it's
isn't the same because nobody ever defined Muslim as an ethnic group of people.
okay, that makes
Right.
sense.
Same thing
Okay.
with Christians. We never used Christian to describe a race of people. It was only ever used to describe the religious group of people.
Okay.
Whereas Jew was used to describe both an ethnic group of people and a religious group of people. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So now that makes sense.
Could you imagine the identifiers if they include all religions? Oh,
I
dude, you're 3/5 Muslim and you're like 2/3 Christian. Go kill
You need a
yourself.
shotgun. You're trash.
Bro, rip all those Asian Muslims. Holy shit.
Oh God.
All of Indonesia will be sunk. But,
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
No, I've always wanted to know that too, actually, Chiz. I know you're probably fucking around for the first part of that, but no, I've actually wondered that because, like, you look at the cultures and stuff, like, the cultures are pretty similar when you look deep down into the fucking, like, the history of religion,
What do you
right?
mean?
Like,
It
even
would
though
be like-
no, pause. What do you mean by they're similar? Like, elaborate.
there's well, okay, so look at the origin of Christianity and Catholicism, right? Christianity and Catholicism originally could not eat meat; they were vegans at the very jump of this, right? So, like, so
Jews are
with
not vegan. What do you mean?
No, I think you're mistaken, Brem. It was only on Fridays you weren't supposed to eat meat.
oh, some Sabbath shit, right?
Yeah,
okay, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but still, like,
Or
there's
with
still
pork, I
Muslims,
think,
and there's like
or
there's
something
there's
like
other
that.
factions
That
of
was
Muslims
Jews.
that are straight up vegan, and then there are other ones that allow meat into the diet, right? So like, I mean, there's just certain aspects of these religions that have similar things, like covering your body as a female, don't show any skin or unnecessary skin to other men to garner the attention of other men into the relationship.
Fun fact
Anytime-
about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, actually, in Christianity, it is actually written that women should cover their heads, similar to
Yeah,
how in Islam.
yep. That's where I was going with this. That's where I was
Yep.
going with this. Yep.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. That's what I'm talking about, Blue.
Okay,
So-
but the problem is you're wrong about the vegan portion, and also Muslims are not vegan; they just can't eat pork.
I don't think he said that they
No.
are now.
Oh no,
I didn't
no,
say
it's
they are
not. No,
now.
no.
I'm saying they were back then. Or
Blue.
the Sabbath.
Are you projecting
wasn't-
what they were back then?
It wasn't pork. It's halal, and there are specific
Jewish
rules.
don't have pork, right? Or,
Yeah, Jewish people can't eat pork at all, and then the rest of the food is. I mean,
Same with Muslims.
it's
yeah.
kosher.
Yeah.
Yeah, Muslims aren't allowed to eat pork, but it does go beyond that, and there's some specific rules.
They
Like
can't even touch pork.
They're not allowed
Yes.
to eat anything that's a scavenger.
it's also
reason why, like-
it's also the animal has to be slaughtered in a very specific way, which is actually quite brutal. Like they're not allowed to use, like, I don't know what the tool is called, but there's a tool that's kind of like a gun that just has a big
Yeah, some nail
piston.
gun, right?
Yeah, it's like a big
Yeah, I know what
piston
you're
that
talking about.
shoots into the brain. Very, it's like basically an instantaneous death.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
know what
not
you're
allowed to
talking
use it because they have to slaughter it with a by slitting the throat with a knife or something like that. And shit, like there's a
Metal
bunch of
sport.
there's a bunch of rules like that to govern whether something is considered halal or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also,
Cringe.
I not that anybody seems to abide by this. Well, actually, no, there's quite a bit of people, but I was gonna say alcohol is also another thing that throughout that area it's kind of been not exactly forbidden,
Beer,
but
mostly beer, from what I understand.
yeah, like wine
They're
is
fine with
fine.
they're fine with wine. I don't think whiskey.
Well,
Is,
No.
there's that. Plus, they're not allowed to mix their cotton with other fabrics. Like that's considered a sin or some shit like that. If I
Well,
remember
yeah, well,
correctly,
weaving
that's
fabric-
interesting.
What?
Waving two, no, yeah,
Yeah.
waving
That's
two different fabrics
stupid.
together is
That
yeah.
is stupid.
That is a very old thing. Nowadays, like you
Yeah.
bring that up to any Christian, they're like, oh well, maybe God was high when he wrote that. You never know.
No,
Oh yeah.
no,
There's a
it's
lot
It
of-
was
that.
just hot on that day, right?
No,
Like-
see, okay. Here's the thing about that kind of stuff. It's right. It's like the not eating pork, right? Oh man, Jordan Peterson actually gets into a lot of this stuff. But like, whether you want to consider God as a mythical or deity or regardless of that, like obviously a lot of religion is based around rules that are important for human survival, and those change over time, right? Like the pork thing. Pork was banned under Judaism because it was very easy for pork to kill you, right? We didn't know about food hygiene and cooking it properly and things like that, right? So, and like we don't know, right? The whole not mixing two different fabrics or whatever, like who knows why that rule came about, right? And we consider it silly, but like back, thousands and thousands of years ago, there might have been a perfectly legitimate reason why that should never happen, just like the pork thing, right? It's like we consider it silly now that, pork was considered unholy or whatever, but back when it was very easy for it to kill you, like, well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that.
You know, the interesting thing, there's a YouTube channel that covered this. Like, back then, these people used to eat pork just fine. The Jews and Muslims, it's just, one reason or another, they slowly banned eating pork.
well, again,
So-
it's
Women. It's all women's fault.
yeah, right.
Always women.
It takes
It's always women.
it takes people time to know. Like again, this is religion. A lot of what religions were doing was creating rules for humans to live by before we had the scientific understanding of
Yeah.
what would lead to killing. Like, so one of the big rules was like filth, right? Filth literally in the old languages meant shit. And you weren't supposed to be filthy in camp. You weren't supposed to take a dump in camp. And it's like, now, with what we understand about germs and how unsanitary stool is, well, it's obvious. You don't take a shit where you sleep or lay down or eat or any of,
Man's going scientific with it.
yeah. Right. But back then we didn't have that understanding. But after a long time, we noticed that, I got into Go-Get about this, and I fucking owned him on it, even though he doesn't want to fucking admit it.
Whoa, bro.
It was
Owning Go-Get, not possible.
right.
Dude,
It was okay. So like, why does God hate gays? Right. The people like, oh, what? Why does God hate gays? Right? Why does God hate gay people? Why? Okay. How about this? Even with all our modern technology and medicine and all that, gay people have a rate of STDs at 15 times the heterosexual rate.
Shocker.
How about that? How about they noticed, like over say thousands of years, that hey man, those every time we figure out that two guys are fucking, they get sick, and then a bunch of people around them get sick, just like they noticed that a lot of times when people ate pork, they got sick.
Speaking of who,
Well, there's one thing to bring up about that, and that there's some truth to that. But that also happened, especially back then. That happened with women too.
Well,
And that
sure.
also
That's
led to
why do you think women weren't supposed to be promiscuous?
that's why that's partly also why we had a long history of not trusting women. So I think arguing from that perspective and then trying to bring that into the modern light is a little
Well, no, and
I
here's
think-
no. See, here's the really interesting thing, right? Like you could
Yeah.
say that, oh, with modern medicine and all that, like, oh, now there's no reason for women not to, or for anybody not to be promiscuous. It's like, no, actually, because promiscuity causes a lot of problems other than just STDs,
I have
Right.
a good counter for that.
jealousy. The fact that as a woman's number of sexual partners increases, the odds that that the marriage that she ends up being in will last decrease dramatically. The fact that as a woman's number of sexual partners increases, her overall life satisfaction and also satisfaction with her relationships and other things decreases dramatically. Like promiscuity causes a lot of problems other than just STDs or unwanted pregnancies or things like that.
I'm gonna need some numbers for the statements, Pete, because I don't know if they're all entirely true.
Yeah, they are.
So
Yeah, I could find you the studies. It would take me a while because I didn't mark them or anything. But yeah, I've watched
Well,
a
what about-
bunch. I watched a
You
bunch
bring-
of streams on those topics, and they have cited studies.
So you say that all about you're using women in that reference. What about men? What about men who have sex with a lot of women?
Well, here that's no. Why is it on women to
Men
not
don't
be?
have a lot of sex with
Why is it
women,
on
come
women
on.
to not be promiscuous? Well, because if it was up to men, it wouldn't happen.
Good. Thanks.
I don't know about that one.
What?
Yeah, I don't
Yes,
know
you,
about that.
yes,
I
yes,
don't
you
know
do.
about that one.
Yes, you do.
No.
I don't know about
that
that
is,
one.
that is the biggest copium I've ever had.
Maybe if that's how it was back in the day, sure. But like
No.
nowadays in a
No,
modern
no, no,
time
no, no.
setting,
No. Just in general, right? So they did a study. They did a study where they had they got a couple of different attractive men and women, and then on different occasions, several different times, they would have the men go into the bar, walk up to women, and then say, "Hey, would you like to have sex?" And then on other occasions, they would have the women go into a bar and walk up to men and say, "Hey, would you be interested in having sex?" Guess which way the numbers skewed?
what's the sample
Can you tell me
size?
instead?
You
'Cause I
can't
don't
just
wanna
say that
fucking
with
guess.
5 or 6 people and then use that as a standard as an overall representation.
Well, I don't know how many people they had in each. I don't know how many men and how many women, but
yeah,
they
yeah,
did.
yeah. Okay,
They
that's what I was like. I'm
they
like, that doesn't
did
even
it.
make sense.
They would
They
go
had-
into like I don't know they did the experiment several dozen times, and in each instance they would ask dozens of either men or women in each of the bars or wherever. I don't know if it was a bar every time, but each of the venues that they chose, they would ask a dozen different guys or women in that. But it doesn't matter. The numbers are fucking 100% of the men said yes, we'd be happy to have sex with the women that asked them, and 0% of the women said yes, we would be happy to have sex with the guys that asked them.
0%? Damn.
I don't know if it was
Women, right?
actually 100 and 0. It might be 99 and 1%, but like
I
it
feel
was
like
as
there's
it was
some
as
No.
close to
bullshit
100
in
and 0 that you could possibly get while still being statistically
Damn.
relevant.
Kind of picky bitches they got going to a bar and then like guys come up to them to hit on them. They're like, no. Sorry.
But any guy knows
What if
this,
they
right?
were-
Girls will
You're
say
just
some
kidding.
stupid shit like, oh, guys will say, so, I've had chicks complain about they can't get laid, right? And then I'll tell them, no, you could get laid at any time you wanted. And they say something stupid like,
You
no,
can
we
be-
can't. And it's like, no,
Dude,
yes, you
like-
could.
like,
You
you
could
can-
walk
you can
into
be-
any bar and pick. Now, you might not be able to get any guy in that bar, but
Yeah,
you would
but-
be able to
Girls.
get a guy in that bar to go home with you and fuck you. It just might not be a guy
Yeah,
you're
like-
attracted
That
to.
part I agree with because I've
agree
seen
with that.
women, dude. I've seen women that look more guyer than most of us in this call, and they fucking walk out easy.
Yeah, they could still get
that's what
a
that's what I
guy.
was going to say, like, you could be a 5 and you can still get laid. So I don't know what
Yeah,
your excuse
you could
is.
still walk into a bar
That's
and
'cause I'm
find at
actually a
least
2.
one
Oh.
guy that would
Or
sleep
if
with
a
you.
guy tries this and he's like, say, I don't know, a fucking 2 out of 5, he's gonna be brought
No.
up on charges for
Yeah,
stalking
exactly.
just to
Yeah.
hide somebody.
Yep.
No, and I agree with that. And I think it's kind of ironic when people bring up things like, "Oh, gender is a social construct. We need to get rid of it," and then they ignore shit like this. It's like, well, if you want us to be treated equally, then fucking prove it. Like if you know.
No,
let
we can't be treated equally, dude. It's not possible. There is too much inbuilt preferential attitudes towards women. It can't be otherwise. It can't be. Societies that didn't worship women and children died. If any society would send out their women and children to die in war just like they would send out men, that society wouldn't last. It's not possible.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is a self-defeating proposition. So obviously
All right,
we had
America's going now. Let's go, Pete. Let's start the movement.
all right.
but
So
the-
obviously we had to evolve with a preference towards women and children, to give them preference, women and children first. It's always how it is. It's always how it'll have to be, because again, you can't send women to die in war like you do men. It's just not possible.
Watch me.
Yeah. Well, hey, you can do it, but then your society dies. So
But
It's not my society. It's our society.
our society, comrade.
but
Or
that
famous
that's
words from XQC. I'll send your girlfriend downstairs to my house.
But that's kind of the ironic part about a lot of and I say when I say radical left, I don't mean just your typical person who's like, hey, I like healthcare. I mean genuine actual feminists who post hit pieces and stuff like that, who really don't like the idea of unisexuality, because in their minds they're like, well, we think that women and men are different and women should have these rights, but trans people are saying that this is a social construct. Ew, fuck that. We don't want that. We don't want to be treated equally. Fuck that. And it becomes a cannibalistic
Well, that's
thing.
they want to be treated equally up until the point that they lose their special privileges for being women. And it's like, yeah, well, it was never about that, you rancid twats. And guys knew that. This is the irony, right? Guys knew that from the get-go. We already knew that this shit was a bunch of horse shit, that none of these women actually wanted to be treated like men do. We knew that they just wanted to get all of the perks of being women while losing the consequences of accepting those perks. But of course, if we said that, oh, you're just a woman hating man baby, aren't you? Go fuck yourself.
Ask any woman. For some of you, you may have to leave the house, but ask any woman how they feel about it. If they have to be signed, if they would like to be signed up for the draft. I guarantee you, possibly, you might find one out of 1,000 women who would say yes. But for the rest of them, that's a hard no.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Oh yeah,
those
just
are
look.
those are the fucking those are the arm couch fucking
Yeah.
women's rights activists that think they should serve in the military, and when they get presented the offer, they're nowhere to be seen.
Well, just look on Twitter
yeah.
when that story went around when it was looking like World War III might happen or whatever, and they were talking about a law that included women in the draft, and all of them were like, yeah, I wouldn't mind being in the kitchen so much. So how about we not? How about we not do that?
Yeah, I remember that discussion. They want to draft women. All these fucking thoughts, start whining about it. Wait, I thought you were about equality. I thought you wanted equality. Oh, it's not that kind of equality you want, right?
War is something that's kind of far away, right? It kind of grows near, but it's still out there. Let's bring it more real to grounded terms that we all deal with every day. Ask these women to, how they would feel being put in more positions, working 9-to-5 jobs every day.
Well, no, they don't even want to do that.
Exactly. They don't. And again, it's their prerogative if they don't want to do it. But do not bitch about how, we don't have the same freedoms. Yes, you do.
And even my girl was like, "Who the fuck was asking for equal rights again? This is fucking stupid."
Yeah,
my girl says that shit. I was like, "Okay."
And I don't blame them for not wanting that shit. Men
I
don't want
actually
that.
blame Pete for that shit, because that happened when Pete and his girl were talking about it.
Oh,
Wait, what?
You think?
the last time we were talking about women's rights, and like both of our women were like, "Who the fuck's idea was that?" I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
we didn't
yeah.
ask for that shit.
Democrats, of course. You know,
I
there's
mean, you
always
think I want?
Democrats.
You think I want to wake up early in the morning and go to work? I want to watch Black Clover all day. I don't want to go to work, but I have to go to work.
Yeah, men don't want to go to work either. Fuck. Men don't want to get drafted.
You know what, Blue? There's a way for this. If you two have a vagina, you can stay home.
Yeah.
Well, and that was and that was the thing, right?
That's not
Like,
how that works.
That
Hell,
women can put feminists, whatever, but women too. Like it wasn't just feminists, and that's kind of part of the problem. But that was the thing where chicks will fucking bitch about marriage being an oppressive institution, which fucking it is so not. But whatever. Let's assume that it is.
What do you mean?
Who knows, right?
How is it an oppressive institute? When did it become an institute? I'm confused.
Oh, it's
institution.
Marriage is an institution.
But it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
but sweetheart, that was the deal, right? That was the ancient agreement between men and women, where men would go out and do all the hard, dirty, disgusting, difficult, dangerous labor,
Fun.
and in what's the word I'm looking for? In return, you would take care of the house, bear our children, raise them, and you would not have to do any of the dangerous, dirty, disgusting, or have to go to war, and all that kind of stuff. That was the deal.
And it worked.
And it worked for
centuries.
millennia. And now you want to go back on the deal, but you want to keep all of the fucking benefits of the deal. That's
How many women?
I mean,
Sorry.
it works if you ignore them when women fought in wars and shit like that.
Yeah. They always bring up those silly little examples. It's like, sure, you can find a fucking example where a couple of chicks fought and yada yada.
See,
but come on,
I
dude.
also argue against that too, because as much as I don't like it when people use small sample sizes to over fucking for a statistical data thing, talking point that we use, when they use 10 people of this out of 20
Oh my god, one
means
battalion in the
50%.
Russian army was
That exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking dumb. I argue against that point
no,
too. I argue against
I
both
mean,
sides
like-
equally. So.
I meant, I don't think it was like that small in Rome. I could be wrong.
No, it
like
was.
Wasn't it like tens of thousands? Wasn't it like 40,000 women? I know that's like obviously in the grand scheme of the 65 million, but I mean, yeah. I'm not trying to argue on either side here, but acting like it was just like, haha, 10 little women went out with a little gun. No, I mean like.
I don't care if it was 100. I don't care if it was 100,000. That doesn't even come close to the billions of men who have died in war. Like, it's just there's just no comparison.
My point was, your entire argument is that, that's how it's always been. But in one of the most successful empires, I'd argue, that's not how it was.
Except it was, because, like I said, the numbers weren't even close. And second, Rome collapsed horribly, so obviously they weren't that successful.
All nations will collapse eventually.
Yeah, but not like Rome did.
Not at the rate, right? So, like, there was a lot of underlining issues in Rome. Is that what you're going with, Gilgit? Just so I'm clear, right? You're going with Rome?
There's
Okay.
more issues in Rome than what people try to make it out to be.
Right. So so a lot of the issues in Rome, and it also trailed off into Egypt, and that's one of the reasons why Egypt died. A lot of those men were being born with,
I believe Greece as well.
Yeah, and Greece. So a lot of those men.
Hold on, I thought you were gonna say a lot of men were born with cum, and I was like, wait a second.
No, but like a lot of those men were actually born more feminine than they should have been because of the whole fucking genome situation there, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of incest, touchy uncle. You know what I mean? That shit happened a lot, and people were actually justifying. Hold on, it also spilled. No, it also spilled in the LGBT shit, right? So like, a lot of these people were. Yeah, dude. Like,
No, I think we're jumping a little too far here.
no, I'm not, dude. Like, literally, the reason why these civilizations fell,
Yes,
right,
Don G.
was,
This is Killing Floor 2.
was,
Sorry,
was
go
the
ahead.
literal fact that these things were allowed to fucking go on in mass droves. Like these things happened before, and there's even a theory now that America could actually fall again, can fall to the same problems.
Oh yeah,
that
we're
Rome fell to.
experiencing all the same problems that Rome was, and in the same way too. It happened exactly the same way. Women were given the right to vote, and then they started
And they were
voting in
given-
all sorts of
And they were given
progressive.
Well, no, they were given leadership roles over countries.
Yep.
So like, and they forced their men to be in feminine roles.
Yep.
Can we see any patterns here? Just wondering, boys.
Yep.
I
But
have one
and
question.
yeah.
Sorry, it was okay. I didn't mean to completely interrupt because it was a dumb question. I was just gonna say, so you're telling me that the Roman Empire fell because they had femboys put in these different roles?
Yeah, basically.
Actually, yeah.
I mean,
Holy
that's
shit,
not
it's
not
just
all of it, but yeah,
That's
part
not
of
the
it.
main reason, but that's a big part of it. Yeah.
No,
Alright,
also like I
I'm
love
gonna
the I love the
gonna go to
people who are like, oh yeah, you know, the Roman Empire and the Greeks and stuff, they had lots of gay people, and it's like, yeah, you know what they also had a lot of? Pedophilia. Like they literally used their armies, they literally used to bring young boys with them to battle, and they would be in the camps and they would use them as sexual slaves. Oh, or then how rich, wealthy like villa owners would pay young boys to swim around naked in their pools and stuff and be available for them sexually at all times. I'm sure that's not connected at all.
However, pedophilia has been around way, way, way longer than homosexuality has been kind of normalized. I mean, like,
but you guys do realize that those pedophilic kind of individuals use like the gay rights thing as a fucking vessel to continue on.
Yeah,
right?
I think it goes. No, I think it goes. You fucking hate me if you want. I think it goes beyond that. I think a whole lot of gay people were fucking groomed when they were kids, and end up gay as a result of pedophile. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like Milo Yiannopoulos. What Milo Yiannopoulos said happened to him is not a rare thing to happen in the gay community. He even admitted that.
Right.
It's not there, but it's there than he made it out to be.
I don't know. I would not be surprised if the number of times it happens is way higher than what people want to admit it.
As somebody who you could say is part of that community, it is not as large as he tried to make it out to be.
Bro, Rome fell to boys. I'm sorry.
I have not met many gay people who have been groomed.
You don't know that. You have no way of knowing that, Go-Get, because lots of people won't admit it when they were groomed.
Yes and no. There's like.
I don't think you can really tell if you are until like it's too late.
Well, no, well, yeah, but like afterwards, there's like patterns people follow, like how an abuse victim will be hesitant to talk about, or not talk about, but like be around like say men if they were abused by a man. No.
Well, sure, but not always. Some go the opposite way, and they become hypersexualized as a result of their being groomed.
I'm just saying, like, the amount of people I've like interacted with, I cannot say for sure that his numbers are accurate. There's definitely a huge like.
Well, he never gave numbers. He just said it happens a lot more often than people want to admit or know.
Yeah.
And I believe it. Because I know a lot of, I've known a lot of gay people. Well, I don't know about a lot. With who knows what a lot is, right? But of a lot of the gay people I've known, they were groomed a lot more than they want to admit. Like it might not have been as obvious as, a 30-year-old guy, forcing them to do something when they were 12. But, 15, 16, 17, and it's some 30, 40-year-old dude. And it's like if that was a 16 or 17-year-old girl with a 30 or 40-year-old guy, people would be furious.
Yeah,
But-
funny how that works.
Right?
And not only that, a lot of people who are young and abused don't turn to homosexuality. Like there's a lot of people who are abused.
Well, sure, but that's
Yeah, they
just like
become
that's
abusers.
but that's just that's just like pedophilia, right? Almost all pedophiles were abused when they were children. Now, it's very rare that somebody who is abused becomes a pedophile, right? Because very few people who are abused become pedophiles, but almost all of the people who are pedophiles were abused when they were children.
Sexually abused.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. To
Well, then-
be clear about that.
Well, I'm wondering if it's. Well, I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking if it obviously it affects people in different ways, but at least in the people that I know personally, like within my close circle, the ones who have been abused in their early life, it actually did the opposite effect of making them hypersexual.
Well, sure, but again, that's
yeah, some of them
people
come out as asexual.
Yeah,
non-sexually
people
active, yeah.
people react to abuse differently. I mean, that's human nature, right? Not everybody's the same.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there isn't
Okay.
a large correlation or causal link. Like I said, hardly anybody who is abused sexually when they are a child becomes a pedophile, but almost all of the pedophiles that are around were abused when they were kids. So it might not be a direct causal link, but it's a pretty fucking strong causal link.
Mm.
So, yep.
Well,
The man's
Sold me.
using tractor cannon. What's
you
going
sold
on
me.
here?
All right, where's the nearest building?
Oh God! Oh my God!
I mean, that was
I don't
easy.
know,
That was
the
an
man's
easy.
gonna decide.
Hey, that was an
I-
easy discussion. He got me. Hey, go get.
But no, I I'd personally take anything Milo says with the thickest grain of salt I could find.
Oh, yeah, with
Yeah.
regards to
Milo
what
has done
though?
years.
Anything about the LGBT, because he fucking compared like fucking Christian is doing the shit for fucking attention to like the normal trans person, and that's
Yeah,
not. a
but that
stat
doesn't
line
mean
to
he's
me.
wrong.
It does mean he's wrong.
How does that
Who are
mean
you
he's
to say
wrong?
that he's wrong.
Yeah, like
Who am
you
I-
could
Okay,
could
well,
think
first
he's
off-
wrong, but what? Prove him wrong.
Proven. Okay. Well, this thing called gender dysphoria. It's been a thing for a lot longer than America has.
Yeah,
been a thing.
0.01, but it's not an overall generalized proper data analysis of overall the people that are actually transgender versus people that are faking to be transgender.
Well.
Wait.
there's a reason-
Hang on. What exactly did he say about trans people that is wrong?
If
Oh.
I'm trying to think the exact quote. Something like a joke about fucking. Oh, I don't know if it was a joke because I don't know how often he jokes because I don't
He
like him.
like
All the
Milo
time.
is like 90% jokes, right? So,
Well,
Okay.
jokes with a hint of truth.
true.
Okay, he says something like, you know what the first liberal furry transgender person is, or the non-person politician would be, and it's just a picture of Christian, which one I think there's trans politicians before that point.
Okay, obviously that was a joke, bro. Come on.
I know, but you can't. Whenever you do something like that, you can't
But you can.
like. No,
Okay,
you
there's a
can.
difference between him saying some silly shit like the first fucking trans whatever is Christian, and him very seriously going into his experiences as a
Well,
young man.
I
and
know, but I
then-
mean, like, because of that, because of the like the disconnect of what like the communities like. Well, I say community, it's not a community, but you know what I mean. Is actually like I don't I don't think what he says about like the overall communities is like 100% serious.
Right. Well, that's what we just said. Like that's what we just established. He jokes around
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, yeah.
Well, but
no,
again,
I mean,
he
like,
was very serious when he was talking about his experiences as a young man.
Yeah. No. I fully believe that abuse of like any kind, be it sexual or physical, could like change you drastically like that. I mean, it does. That's why PTSD exists because it does change you that drastically.
I want to ask a question here regarding this. So, what would make, for example, a fetish? Like, what's the difference between a sexuality and a fetish? And that's a genuine question, not a. You know.
Sexuality is like who you're attracted to. A fetish is something that turns you on.
So, let's say, and again, this is, so like, let's say, for example, someone's attracted to feet, right? Someone has a foot fetish. In the
Knew
same
this
way
was
that.
coming. I knew this was coming.
Yeah,
Hitting
and now,
a little
again,
close to home here, duh.
Blue.
Right?
Dude's projecting.
Oh, I was gonna
Hey,
say,
I'm not calling anyone out.
I was
It's
gonna
just
say
an example.
Trism, but man, why you gotta call my man's out like that?
Blood the water, blood the water.
We, to answer your question, we actually don't know. Like, because sometimes it's just like sexuality. Part of it is obviously genetic. Part of it is part of its nature, part of its nurture, and we don't know how much is it. And it's likely how much of each it is changes depending. There's going to be people who are 100% one way or the other, and nothing that'll ever happen to them will change it. And there are people who are, they might be 50-50, and then a certain event happens, and that does change them. But we don't know, and it's too complicated to make a rule.
I'm
Well,
just gonna say it seems very subjective and very opinion based.
You can say my sexuality is hetero and my fetishization women.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
yeah.
well, and see, and I'm not disagreeing with that, but the reason that I'm curious on what people think about that, right? No, exactly. See, I can't disagree with anything like that. But like, for example, the way that we feel things, especially when it comes to feelings like this, like sexual feelings and whatnot. Anyone who's ever had sex, half the room raise your hand. You can say that whatever you think of something beforehand that you may enjoy, and then when you actually get into the actual act of whatever you're doing, things can change. Your feelings can change, right? There are certain things that you feel like you would never be attracted to, suddenly you're attracted to. Things like that change over time, and I think the idea of somebody.
So are you just telling us that you didn't like feet before, but now you like feet?
No. I'm not saying that at all.
That's what he said.
I still know what you're getting at, but
I'm getting at, let me speak, please. What I'm getting at is that I think these feelings that people have, whether it's sexual attraction towards either females, males, whether it's certain fetishes and whatnot, in my opinion, I think a lot of it is just natural. A lot of it is just people have certain feelings and whatnot. Whether or not we want to deem it as wrong or bad.
Wait. Like I said, obviously some of it is, and some of it isn't. But we don't know to what extent it is or isn't. And like I said, it is probably different for different people.
Yeah, it's a spectrum. Which I don't like saying in terms of this, but it's a spectrum.
I mean, I know that the word has been ruined a lot, but it is kind of true in that extent. I mean, again, the main point is just where is the line drawn between somebody like a guy who just finds, like, we could say homosexuality is just a guy who has a dick fetish, or we could say it's just homosexuality. Like, where's the line? Where's the line drawn?
First off, if somebody's attracted to, if a man's attracted to dicks, I hate to offend you, but he's just gay.
Okay,
actually,
that's the question.
Actually, that actually might not be true, because you could have a guy who is heterosexual. He is attracted to women, but he gets turned on by dicks.
Like Blue.
Like he has no. What
are we talking about?
No. Hey.
Come on.
Seriously, because like it's like a cuckold, right? Like a cuckold has no interest in, a heterosexual cuckold has no interest in having sex with a guy, but he is attracted to another guy having sex with his woman, right? Like, that's a thing. So it could totally go to where a guy could be, he could be turned on by other man's penises or other men's penises, but he's not gay. He doesn't want to have sex with those men. He's just turned on by them.
It's the concept of I like to look, but I don't want to touch.
Sure.
It just makes it cuter, right, Meme?
That's a blue
Well,
version,
I
but
think that's
alright.
blue. That
I think-
But
I
now,
know.
see, I'm happy that you brought.
Hold on.
I'm
why
happy
you
that we
brought
brought that up because that's a big question too. See, okay, all right, raise your hand. How many of you are ass men versus tit men? You know.
I already
Um,
know where this is going.
I
I'm
know,
a-
no, you
I'm a
already know where
tit
this is
man.
going,
I
right?
can't pick
I'm
one over
setting.
the other.
I'm just giving the.
What's the difference? That's the
What's the
original
difference?
question.
Right? Because there are men. There are men who find women's asses attractive, and then you can't lie to me and say you've never met a man who's actually complimented another man's ass and said, "Damn, bro, is that gay?"
I don't think
no.
I've ever met a man who's
Caked up on a
complimented another
Tuesday,
man's
homie.
You've
ass.
never met another man.
I
who
don't
complimented
think
the
so.
cake,
I've
the whole
I've
thing
I've
with
had
another man.
I've had guys say other men are, you know, handsome or whatever. I don't think I've
Bro,
been there when another man
I
has
have never had
said
a woman
another man has
compliment
an
my
attractive
thighs.
ass. But
However,
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Like, you know, yeah, sure. I'm sure it's happened plenty of times in the history of humanity because humans are fucking weirdo degenerates. So
but that's what makes us beautiful.
I actually have a answer for your like
Somewhat
your-
serious,
the
but also
kink and-
joking question. Yes.
the kink and fetish thing or the kink and sexuality thing. I have a somewhat answer. It's like a it's a non-answer, but it
metaverse.
answers the question.
That
Like-
sounds like wow. Yeah, that is quite the non-answer.
That sounds like some fucking hoops, doesn't it, boys?
That really
Right.
does. All right, I'm stretching my mind real quick to do these gymnastics. Let's go.
Okay, now there is a like body part fetish, but typically it's hands, feet, and stuff like that. So
Armpits.
no, hebephilia. There's an entire fucking
What?
culture around guys being attracted to women's large feminine asses.
I don't know what.
And men.
What I was.
No,
I was just giving an
that's
example of
something
the
different.
fetish.
I'm only talking about women's asses here.
But no, but I don't. I was just
But
talking about.
you're talking about
Shit.
women's asses, but you're actually thinking of men's asses.
Experience.
Yeah, you got me.
Look, bro. Let me just, bro. Please, I'll pretend you're a woman, bro. Come on, please.
Bro, just put up
No,
with it.
yo,
You need to get
all I
some
gotta
dog,
do
bro.
is
It's fun.
close my eyes and pretend like this is medical school, right?
Dude, I had
Got
a
it.
dude try and pull that shit on a fucking dating site. It's like, bro, I'm really feminine. I swear I could just bend over and turn around and you won't even know the difference. It's like, no.
You know,
Yeah,
you know,
I
You're
know the
like, "No,
difference.
I'm good. Thanks, though.
you see,
Yeah.
But then there are people who'd be like, you know what? All right.
Fuck it.
And what do we? Put
Yeah,
those people?
but what's the point?
What's the point of what?
That's not me.
I mean,
so
yeah,
you
but
do
there
you, boo.
are people who will fuck a donkey. Like,
Most of
Oh yeah. No, they fuck
No,
goats, not
I
donkeys.
didn't say anything. You're lying.
I said they fuck goats, not donkeys. Yeah, that wrong.
Yeah, it's goat.
Y'all are going to hell.
Implying
Me?
don't
What did I
live
do?
there.
You
existed.
but no.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Like,
the difference between, at least from what I understand, the difference between a fetish and a sexuality is, a sexuality is like who you will fuck. Like, say, you'll fuck a guy, but not a girl. You're gay, but no, and vice versa. You're heterosexual, and no, you fuck anything. Bisexual doesn't matter. That's the difference. Like, one is one is who you're attracted to, and one is stuff you're attracted to.
One of these things is not like the other.
Well, I thought like a fetish was something that you fixated on, right? Like something that really cranks your gears, get you going. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I thought a
that-
fetish was okay.
gay
That's like a
people
tons
are
of
just
honor
guy
originally.
fetishes.
That's like the tons you on originally, but
Have a
please
woman
definition of like no.
I mean, the line is
Uh,
kind of blurry.
Yeah.
It's blurry, but it's it's blurry, but it's there.
I mean, it's like all things, right? Human categorization is not perfect.
Oh,
There's
I know.
lots.
Yeah.
There's lots of overlap.
And I think that's part of the reason why I came at it with a more kind of facetious look at it, because I know that the way we categorize it is not perfect, and I understand that the words that we use to describe things are not the perfect words to describe them, and that's why I find it kind of funny when people argue over those words that we use. I know it's the best we got, it's what we've been using forever, but sometimes it's just fun to poke fun at the words we use sometimes, because are they really the best words we use? You know, I mean, where
No.
are
Well,
these lines?
obviously, otherwise we wouldn't use them.
Well,
No,
you
yeah.
say that, but we speak English so fucking poorly.
Well,
Speak
yeah,
for yourself.
like
We're
again, just
American, we speak English poorly.
like the fact that people do things poorly isn't evidence that the things are poor.
No, but the way we use them can be poor. That's my point.
Well, of course, just like everything is not, people aren't perfect. That doesn't mean that.
So why not question that? I mean, it's fine.
Well,
not
we
be
do.
perfect.
We do all the time.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, okay.
I have the answer. Well, okay.
Like,
I'm asking for the answer, and I'm getting. Well, it just is.
I think.
Well, but that's a lot.
Here.
But that's like
see this way.
a lot of the answers is it just is like.
Prism, what can you tell me about a blade of grass growing out of the dirt, and I want an entire thesis by the end of the night? You know what I mean?
Alright,
Like the kind of thing you're asking for, dog. Like,
Okay. Well, honestly,
Define
I'm not.
end of the
I'm
night.
not.
You mean when the sun rises, or like what?
What I'm looking for is an I don't know. That's what I'm looking for. That's the
Oh,
answer
okay.
I want. I want an I don't know.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
we don't
trying to push for an I don't know.
don't necessarily don't know, but that doesn't mean like we aren't able to describe it perfectly, but that doesn't mean we don't know,
I know.
right? That's like those are two separate
know.
things. Again, like I said, we might not be perfect, but that doesn't mean we can't categorize things perfectly, but that doesn't mean the categories aren't. That does not mean that the categories are invalid.
Well,
I mean,
Like male and female exist as a category, right? Now there are exceptions to those rules, right? There's never been an example of an actual hermaphrodite, but there are what are the people who were born with both sets of genitals?
Intersex, right?
What was it?
Intersex, right?
Intersex, yeah. Intersex people exist, right? But that doesn't mean that male and female aren't valid categories.
They're just the most valid.
I just okay. Ready? I'm gonna say a hot take. While categories are important, people focus too much on them.
I don't know about that because they're kind of the most important thing we do. Not any individual category, right? Like not a specific category, but categorization as a concept is one of the most important things that humans do. That's how we define our entire world.
No, but what I mean, what's a good example? Pete, you're a guy, okay?
Yeah.
Is he?
There you.
Yeah, how dare you assume my gender?
I'm sorry. Okay, just hypothetically, you're male.
He did ask if
hypothetically,
you're a
okay?
guy or not. So.
I did ask. But
That was a question. No, I didn't understand. Okay, it came out. It sounded like a statement with the way you worded it.
No,
Sorry.
no,
All
I
right.
said, Pete, you're a guy, right?
Oh, I didn't hear the part. You're.
But
Okay.
is he?
But that was still an assumption of gender. You immediately went to guy. You didn't say, Pete, you're a girl, right? See? Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yes, yes, I am a I am a guy.
Are you
Listen
sure
here,
about
ladies,
that?
calm down. Anyway, okay. Now, you know you're a guy. That's just how it is. Do you see a need to focus on the fact that you are a guy? Like,
Well, it
how
depends.
Some people.
If I'm choosing which bathroom to go into, that absolutely is
But
important.
No, I mean
If
like,
if I'm choosing a partner to enter into a romantic relationship with, that absolutely is an important thing. Like, if I'm going to choosing what toothpaste I want to buy, no, yeah, that doesn't matter one bit. But There are
Are you
lots and
sure
lots
about
of
that? Maybe you have
yes.
sensitive gums.
Well, but that's
Woman?
not dependent on whether I'm a guy or not. But there are lots and lots of things I do throughout the day that are very dependent on whether I'm a guy or not. So again, it depends.
I disagree to a degree.
course.
Because like you don't actively think about going to the men's bathroom. You just go into it.
Only because we've structured our entire lives about it from the time that we were very little. And you can see this because once we introduce all this gender confusion bullshit, everybody all of a sudden gets confused.
You don't
I
say.
feel like that confusion comes from just people like wanting to understand who
You
they
know,
are.
Like no, here's an example. Here's an example, right? Yeah, when I go looking for, if I was to go out to a bar and start looking for a woman to chat up and then potentially date, yeah, I don't literally think about it like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm a guy, I need to find a woman. Is that a woman? No, of course not. I just think, oh, there's a chick I could talk to. But again, that's only because we have structured our entire existence around these categories and then modeled our behavior in relationship to that since we were infants, and then the people before us were infants, and so on and so forth for hundreds of thousands of years. If you were to try and change something like that, completely different, like again, like these idiots who want to say that, oh, people can just fucking change how they speak and start using all these gender neutral pronouns. It's like, no, we can't do that. Everything about our lives has been structured about, like, you walk into a store and like you're a cashier and a lady walks up to you and it's like, hi ma'am, how are you doing, how can I help you? Like, that's what you do. And it's because ma'am is the polite way to address a human female who has come into your shop for service. So in order to give her the proper respect and deference, you say these words because she might not want to hear, hey bitch, what's up? Like,
what's up, girl?
yeah, not everyone is comfortable with that level of familiarity. So there's a standardized greeting, and it comes, for us, it comes down to one, a guy or a girl. If it's guy, you say, hello, sir, how are you doing? If it's a girl, you say, hello, ma'am, how are you doing? Like, and that's how it works. And you can't just change that and expect everybody to...
I agree with Pete saying, but I also gotta go to bed. I'm gonna
All right,
y'all
bye-bye.
good night.
All right, bro.
Have a good
Hey,
night.
Blue.
Bye, Blue. I do have one
I don't
question.
think
Though.
there's a gender neutral word for that. Is
What-
there?
I have a question. So with that being said, with how we structured everything over all this time, and that's why we're thinking like this, how strange was it when you guys first saw a black man drinking at your water fountain? For me personally, that changed my life. I wasn't used to seeing that. It's fuck. They had their own water fountain for so long. That's just how it was.
You know what's funny about that? You should say that,
Actually-
but that actually happens today, where people actually get shocked about that shit. Like,
I know.
for real. That's the funny part, bro.
Yeah, who's the racist again?
And now, I feel like the same kind of thing could be applied to like unisex bathrooms, for example.
Oh, damn, I missed it.
Like, yeah,
no, it can't, because human beings naturally develop a sense of what's it called? Shit, I can't remember what it's called. Like there's a time in a kid's life where he doesn't care if he runs around naked, right? But then once he gets to a certain age, and it's not the same age for everybody, but there's a range of age, between somewhere around like 4 to 6 or so, all of a sudden they're self-conscious. They become self-conscious, and they no longer wish to be nude around other people, especially other people of the opposite gender. And that's a natural thing that happens. So and it is gender specific. Like you are still even if a kid really doesn't like being nude around anybody, they're still more comfortable being nude around people of the same gender than they are being nude around somebody of the opposite
I feel like
gender.
it depends on the person. I feel like
It does obviously it does. But the general again, just because there are exceptions doesn't mean that the category doesn't exist, and
Those
it's a general
but, like-
rule that people are far more comfortable being naked and otherwise engaging in activities that you would use a bathroom with or in with people of the same gender as you.
Well, men do some crazy things in their bathroom, so I don't know. I don't know how.
You
come
think
And
we
even
all-
stuff's bad? Women are usually bad.
and even in societies like, because okay, Japan, right? Japan is a lot more open about nudity than America is, right? And yeah, they are.
Well, I can't- yes,
Yeah,
they-
they
Yeah,
are.
they
Yeah.
really
I
are.
didn't know that.
So, oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they have open bathhouses and stuff like that that just aren't really a thing in,
They have
in the
bathrooms
US.
over there with no fucking door on the stall, dude. I'm like, bro, like I don't know about that.
But
shit.
and so like so in the bathhouses, right? There's usually 2 rooms, male and female. But for children, like up to the age of I think it's like 10 or 12, they are allowed in either regardless of what sex they are, they're allowed in just like in bathrooms in the US,
I
right?
think it depends on their parents.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Whatever
so,
they're with.
just like in the U.S., if a woman has a male child who's like 4 years old and needs to change their diaper or whatever, like they can bring him into the woman's bathroom. It's not a big deal, right? Well, it's the same thing with bathhouses in Japan, where these bathhouses are gender specific, but if you're under a certain age, then you're allowed to be in, so a woman can take her 6-year-old son into the women's bathhouse, even though it's filled with naked women. That's okay. But, and the bathhouse is open and there's plenty of nudity, right? But it's still gender segregated. And they even have unisex bathhouse, or they have, usually there might be 3 rooms, right? There might be, at different times they might open it up, because often they will have it unisex bathing area where both men and women can just bathe in the, whether it's a hot spring or just a bathhouse or whatever. But then they still have gender segregated rooms also. There always are gender segregated rooms, and then sometimes they will have, or often they will have a 3rd room, or at least a time when there is unisex open bathing. So it's a human
I've watched
universal.
hentai enough to know where this goes.
Well, yeah, it's like anime, and you read up on Japan, and it's like you read up on bathhouses, and like, yeah, that's a big thing, right?
Well-
But even in cultures that are much more lax about nudity, there are still rules, regulations, what are the like societal rules that aren't exactly spoken? What the fuck are those called?
Unwritten
Yeah,
rules.
unspoken, unwritten
Taboo?
rules or something.
Taboos, norms,
Yeah.
all that. Like there are still things about nudity and bathrooms and all that that are separated by gender.
Well, are there certain things like that separated by other factors in people? Like, for example, when you say that.
Well, there
certain,
have
like,
been,
Like
but
gender, for example, is people who are a part of one gender feel more comfortable with things that are among the same gender. What about race? Would you say that there's some science to back up that maybe one group of a race likes to be around their own group versus being
They
with another
do.
group? So
I mean
why-
that's
why not-
that
so why not
that's
argue for
another
segregation?
human universal, is people prefer to be surrounded with people that match their race. They've done studies on that. I mean, why do you think there are black areas of cities like Chicago and stuff, and then Little Italy and Little Greece and
Gentrification.
Gentrification. Shut the fuck up.
well, no, that's
Gentrification,
the opposite of that.
What
Mm.
pushing a lot of these people-
Gentrification is when white people move into an area.
and then
But like nobody told every Chinese person that they had to move into Chinatown in New York. They just did. And even after,
Also,
like, you could say, right, that, oh, it was because of racism. Like, all right, maybe at the beginning, but nobody says that now, but they still do. And Muslims do, and Muslims are doing that as we speak in every Western country. Like there are there are tons and tons of Muslim only areas that have cropped up as a result of large scale immigration from Muslim countries into European countries and America and Canada. So it's a natural phenomenon that happens.
So, do you think that we should also have things segregated specifically for them in our social norms and our laws?
That's a tough one. Because okay, it's like it's just like the question: should a private business be allowed to deny service to a
discriminate.
black man? Yeah, whatever, right?
Yeah,
I
obviously.
don't know the answer honestly, and the reason is because on the one hand you could say, well, you shouldn't be allowed to discriminate based on something like race. Okay, yeah,
Race, sex,
sure, fair. Well, but then again, we do, right? Like one, they
Private
have
company.
they have salons that only cater to women, and we saw that with the "wax my balls, you bigot."
Okay,
Right?
we
And
don't-
that-
we don't talk- we don't talk
And
about
this is the
it.
thing, right? The salon has chosen to be a female exclusive, and it's the same thing with like a men's club, and you could say that race is different. No, not really. I mean, kinda, but not really. If a black guy wants to open a business and only allow other black people into his business, I mean, I
Okay.
see something wrong with that, but on the other hand, well, that's
Not
his
really.
business. He should be able to do what he wants to with it. And also,
He just doesn't like my money.
there's also the problem of the right
Because my money's white.
freedom of association, right? Part of the freedom of association is the freedom to not associate with anybody you don't want to as well. It's why you don't have to invite anybody to your house if you don't want to. And who am I
Right,
to
it's
say
awesome.
that not inviting somebody to your house or into your business because they're black is any more or less right than not inviting them because they're an asshole or it doesn't matter what the categorization is really. But yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. It's a tough one.
And and
I personally, I think private companies should be allowed to discriminate based on whatever reason they want.
I think
I
from
would
a person-to-person
tend to
basis, but
I would tend to
no,
fall
not-
on that uh reasoning as well. But what really gets me is that we're stuck 50-50 right now because you can totally discriminate based on some categories but not on others, right? It's totally wrong to do it by race, but if you're a gun owner, well, fuck you. Or some businesses have started not doing business with conservatives or and there's all sorts of shit like that. And the only categories we can't do it on are race, sex, religion, nationality. I don't know, there's like two or three more. But that's certainly not all of the categories that human beings use to classify each other. So if you can't, in my opinion, if you can't discriminate based on X, Y, and Z category, then it should just be you can't discriminate based on any categories.
Exactly.
It shouldn't
I agree.
matter what the category is, right? If you can't discriminate based on any categories, well, then it shouldn't be any categories. But
except gender.
like I said, this is why I fall on I would tend to fall on the side of you can discriminate. And I don't care what the reason is. If a racist ass fucking store owner doesn't want to serve black people, well, for one thing, why would black people want to patronize his store? Why?
They're brain dead.
Bring your business to somebody who wants your business, dude. Why would you want a racist to profit off of you?
Yeah, I agree with
And
that.
second, I think that it is reasonable to like I said, a salon that only caters to women, or a barbershop that only caters to men. I see those, or a gentleman's club, or whatever, right? There's tons of stuff like that. I think those are perfectly legitimate, discrimination categories, So, and like I said, if you're gonna allow one, you gotta allow them all, because picking and choosing is just bullshit. And
And
yeah,
I mean, and I agree with that. I think doing it on a more local scale like that is fine. My only problem gets into whenever it starts getting passed into law and legislative, especially whenever
well,
certain
yeah,
know.
that's a way different category altogether. Like if you want to
Oh, I
say
know.
that like private businesses should be allowed to discriminate, but any kind of government service should not. Yeah, that's fair enough. Like that's really what it should have been when they passed the Civil Rights Amendment, or ratified it, whatever you want to call it. What it really should have been was government services should not be allowed to discriminate based on class, sex, gender, whatever,
Yeah.
race, whatever. But like I said, I think private businesses, people, and whatever. Like I said, you don't have. If I don't want to have black people in my house, that's perfectly legitimate, right? Sure, I'd be a racist asshole, but it's my
Why would you want
house.
people in your house to begin with?
Yeah, right. I don't want anybody in my house, but
Especially some random person. And then being black has nothing to do with it. It's just
But that's
'cause
the
they're a
thing.
random
Well,
person in
that's
my
the thing.
house.
It doesn't matter what the reason is, right? If I don't want a person in my house, I don't have to let them in my house. It doesn't matter what
No,
my
you have to let
reason
me
is.
in. You're a bigot. You have no choice.
Well, that's what they're getting at. That's honestly, like, slippery slope, man. It's a real fucking thing, and we are at that point because they've done it with businesses where it was, oh, you can't discriminate based on race. Okay, fine. And like a store can't a corner store, a liquor store, or whatever can't just say, oh, we don't want you in here because you're a woman. It's like, all right, fair enough. But then you get the salon that only caters to women, and wax my balls, you fucking bigot. And that's a completely different scenario, but this is the problem that we're in. And we've gotten to the point, dude, we're going full steam ahead for the Brave New World future, where if you turn somebody down for sexual access, you are a bigot. Right? And that's where the trans people who say, if you don't, suck my suck my feminine dick, lesbians, or if you won't date a trans person, you're a bigot. And they
Just
are really
tell them
close to saying that if you turn down somebody for sexual access, you're a bigot. They're getting real fucking close, and it would not surprise me if they tried to pass a law about it.
just tell them that you're on a sex strike and problem solved.
Well, what about how local would you keep it? What if like a big company, one that has like actual private investment kind of reach? What if they have some kind of discriminatory views and they want to use their money to, I don't know, help fund a
Oh,
politician
would
that also
you
pushes such
would
views?
you do business with that, or tell
What
them
if
to fuck off?
I don't know, are all of you guys gonna stop doing business with like, I don't know, Discord tomorrow if they started doing something?
Well, I
No,
have
I don't
stopped doing
care.
business with a lot of places because they engage in practices that I find reprehensible. I see. I don't know. Then that's another tough question, because like,
I mean,
what
I
does
still haven't got back to Twitter, so.
what does
What
the
if
size of the
like,
business really matter?
well, actually it matters a lot in a lot of cases.
Financial coverage is what he was reaching at on that one.
Well, sure, but that's just a problem of scale, not
What if
like, okay, what does it matter? If a restaurant doesn't want to cater to black men, why would it be any more or less okay for a single restaurant to do it than a chain of restaurants to do it?
Oh, I don't
Like,
mean
if
it in
it's
that
okay,
case.
if
I
it's
mean it
okay for
more.
one of them to do it, why wouldn't it be okay for the chain to do it? Like, what real difference does it matter? But what were you think?
That's I was thinking more of like lobbying, for example. Like, let's say a company lobbies for some kind of law or legislation that doesn't directly discriminate, but it has underlying tones. For example, how the auto industry, long time ago, I say a long time ago, 1940s and so, lobbied against public transport and lobbied against having certain slums and places rebuilt, but rather demolished. Places where poor people live, places like black people, for example, just mixed with other
Oh, hey, baby.
immigrants, places like that, right? That's what I'm getting at, because that is what real discrimination looks
Right
like.
back.
Real discrimination is not, oh, you're gay, I don't want to bake you a cake. Real discrimination is trying to get control of entire districts, right? To get your financial pockets in, right? That is what it looks like. And that's what I'm scared of. I don't give a shit if, racist old Tom and his little bouquet, he doesn't want to sell to black people. I don't care about that. That's
Seems to be
small fish,
boutique.
or whatever it is they sell. I've seen like there's a Confederate store down the road. I said down the road. It's like 10 miles away. But like they're like a little mobile home. They sell a bunch of Confederate flag shit and whatnot. And I mean, good on them. I went in there a few times. Nice people, but that's like nothing compared to things like putting whole districts and whatnot in poverty, right? That generally affect like not just lower class people, but people of immigrants or people who are just different
Just don't
colors.
be an immigrant, idiot.
Well,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the like how do you stop that?
Well, I don't know. How do we stop that?
Well,
How
that's my question. If you can give me a solution to that problem, I'll happily consider it. But I cannot imagine a solution to that problem that would actually solve the problem.
I would say,
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Like,
well, I'm trying to think of an answer that wouldn't piss off a lot of people, because when you say government intervention, people get all up in arms. And whenever
well,
you
but
say
even a
things about
government
tax
intervention, like what?
Oh, well, I mean,
Axel.
we could make lobbying and corruption illegal. That would be a start.
That's impossible.
Well, I mean,
How do you make it so that you can't lobby the government?
I mean,
Like
that's
that would
so-
literally stop the entire political process for our entire country. Like that's regardless of whether you're a giant corporation or an individual citizen, what you
I'm gonna head
do later meme.
Alright.
See ya.
Like the
Alright.
entire political process is designed around two things basically: voting and then lobbying your elected representatives.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is the system is broken.
It's a flaw in the
Well,
system.
yes.
It
Well,
works.
yes, it is broken. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't like that idea.
I mean,
don't really
it's
like the
broken,
idea.
but it's the least broken system we've ever been able to come up with.
We as in Americans, or we as in
no,
humans?
we as in the human beings.
You think that there aren't countries who have thought of things a little better than this?
No. Where would you
Not a single
where would you like to live other than the United States?
Most places in Europe.
Really? You sure about that? Those
Well,
commie hellholes that have 15,000 pages of regulations for selling cabbage? Are you sure about that?
Don't we have
Like-
80,000? Don't we have like 80,000 fucking pages of regulations in our books?
Not
Why-
not
why-
about cabbage. Like again, like yes, there are flaws in our system, but it's the best system that human beings have ever come up with. It's the best
why is
bad
it
system.
failing?
Well, because human beings aren't perfect. Like
So that's
Because
why
nothing-
shit's expensive.
because
That's why
human
workers
beings are
get paid
flawed.
shit all.
and nothing we do is perfect. So of course the government that we create isn't going to be perfect.
Nothing,
But that doesn't
nothing we've
mean
done
that
in
it's
this
not the
country is
best
perfect.
solution we've come up
Right.
with so far.
Agree.
I agree with
nobody-
that.
yeah.
But why couldn't it be better?
Oh, I'm not saying it can't be better. I'm not saying that. It absolutely could be better. And every time we can make it better, we should make it better. But like I am very the more I study government and or everything, all down to the the views of the founding fathers and their treatises on things like government and stuff, and then other governments and how they're run and how they evolve, and and Jordan Peterson, he's enlightened me a lot about things like this. Like, I like this example a lot. I was reading these books, right? Then they are, I think I told Brem about this one time, but they are based on, like, I don't know if it's specifically only Irish, but at least the general, like, Irish area, fae lore, like fairies. So, like, the summer and winter queens, and like the fairies are they're poisoned by iron and stuff like that. And one of the things of like Irish folk fae lore is that you have to be very careful about how you speak to them, because if they, like, the verbal agreements with them are binding, right? Absolutely. And so if a fairy might do something like, hey, can you come over and help me with this thing? And you go, oh, okay, sure. And then you're bound into a contract with them. And if that thing that they asked you to help them with is open ended, they can literally keep you in slavery for forever because you agreed to it and it wasn't specified that you will help me until this task is completed and blah 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 blah, right? So in these books, right, it's the same thing.
Dicks.
There's a summer and a winter queen, and iron is outlawed in this country because obviously it's poison to fairies and blah blah blah. But another one of the things that is a thing is that your verbal agreements are absolutely strictly enforced, and if you by like a magical force, and then if you renege on your verbal agreement or fail to uphold it or whatever, you are punished by the magical force, and then I think it brings you in front of the Fey court or whatever, and then they hand down a punishment that is fitting to the so if you fail to give your friend his dollar and change back, right, you might get a slap on the wrist. But if you fail to do something harsh, then you might get sentenced to fucking 20 years hard labor or something like that, right? And one of the things that that immediately happens, so the it's an isekai, right? So the hero is, I think he's taken from our world and placed into this fantasy world. And one of the first things that happens to him is he is tricked by one of the elders of this village into an agreement because he doesn't know that your verbal agreements are binding. Now, he was only tricked into like not physically harming any of the villagers, right, or something like it was something very benign. But then this is where it comes down to unintended consequences. Now, so like, in our world or whatever, you might say something like, man, the fact that you can make a verbal agreement with somebody and not follow through on it allows evil people to do things, right? They can go around and trick people, they can con them, they can make promises and just go back on them and blah blah blah, right? Wouldn't it be nice if some magical force was able to oversee us and strictly enforce all verbal agreements that were made in place? That would solve a lot of problems. And it's like, well, sure, but you know what else it also would do? It would allow those same con artists and evil people to trick their rubes or the non-con artists and non-evil people into all sorts of shit by being tricky with their language and shit like that, right? And this is the thing I see with it, and like you said it, government intervention. That is a thing, but it's not just government. It's laws and it's all sorts of shit, right? Unintended consequences, and people don't think through. Like you said, like the problem of giant corporations or big banks or whatever, or unions using laws, the government, lobbying, whatever, to enact some evil on people. And it's like, yeah, we should stop that. It's like, yeah, okay. Tell me a solution that will actually solve that problem. One, that will actually solve that problem, which is way harder than people think it is. And two, that will solve that problem without a giant number of unintended consequences that will arise from it. And that's
one. There's one solution.
What?
I think a lot of it could be looking what props up a lot of the infrastructure in this country. I would argue a lot of it is oil. A lot of it is, car manufacturing. And I would argue that a lot of that, I mean, you see highways everywhere. Everything is dependent on this. You need all this. Now, why is it like that? Long time ago, and I see people didn't vote for this. People didn't vote for people voted for the opposite of what we have now, right?
Yeah,
See,
I
that's
know
the
what
thing
you
with
get. You just watched What's that movie?
No, I didn't.
Edward Norton. Or did
didn't
you
watch
just
that.
read? Or did you just read about that evil dude in New York that shut down public transportation and
Well, aside from him, I mean, there's a lot.
yeah.
A lot more.
I get it, and I'm not saying that shenanigans don't happen like you're talking about, but like, would you ever like to move?
Yes.
Okay, then you need highways.
I mean, highways, yes, but can't you have other modes of transportation?
Of course you can, and we do.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
In certain places, maybe, but like across the country, I have no way of getting from place to place.
That's
Not a
because you
single thing.
can't drive.
That's my point. That's
Okay.
the problem.
Well,
That is
no,
the
it's
issue.
not. No, it's
Yes,
not.
It is.
No,
I do-
Uber.
no, I believe it
Uber
is.
exists, bro.
Uber does not exist out here, and it's extremely expensive in the places that it does exist.
Yeah, but it exists.
No, and again, it doesn't exist out here. I
Okay.
do not get Uber.
That sounds like a you problem.
Okay, but what
Well, okay.
what do you think? What would be the solution? A bus that stops at your house every day?
Bus,
Like,
trains.
That's not gonna happen, bro. Do you know how
Why not?
expensive that? Do you know how expensive that is?
I don't know. It's not expensive for the rest of the world.
Yes, it is. Dude, do you know how
Well-
much money goes into public transportation to have a shittily run bus system that only
are we-
operates within like a 20
Shitty.
square mile area? Yeah, dude.
Shitty. I'm sorry. No, a lot of these bus routes that you're talking about, where are you talking about that have these shitty bus routes?
Plenty
Whenever I
of
look at places like Germany, when I look at places like Spain, Netherlands, Japan, right? When I look at all these places that have high-speed rail, they have
The
like,
UK
trains that go
Yeah,
all across
yes,
the country.
Europe
all
and
across the country.
and yet no. Yeah, all across. Okay, for one thing, they are not the size of the U.S. Right? It's like, yeah, Japan has a really nice high-speed rail. Yeah, Japan, the entire
It's a small
country,
island.
is also
Europe.
not even
All
close
of
to the.
Europe.
Hold up. Japan, the entire country, is also not even the size of California, the state. First off. Second off, Europe, yeah, Europe is not the size of the United States.
It's
and it's
damn
not
near close.
and it's not nearly as spread out either.
We built
Right?
it like that to be spread out with urban sprawl and shit like that.
No.
did not.
I mean like California to New York, right? Like we
Uh-huh.
are spread out throughout the entire country. Right? Whereas
why
Europe has
can't-
each country has a large capital city, and so it's very easy to make a rail system that can take you from each capital city to each capital city. It's not like that in the US because we have a lot more large cities than Europe does.
So wouldn't it be easier to make transportation to get from those cities?
No, it would be a lot more because you have to have each, like, if there's only one giant city in each country in Europe, then you really only need one large train to go from each city to each city. Whereas, like, with us, dude, each state has 3 to 4 large cities.
Mhm.
And we do have rails that go from large cities to large. Like, it's not perfect, but we do have a rail system.
Like, for
Right.
example, in Switzerland, right? Even the most bumfuck of towns have trains that go in between them. Like, these
Yes,
aren't, like,
because Switzerland is the size of Rhode Island.
no, it's not. The fuck?
Dude, Switzerland is tiny, bro. Yeah, it's
It is
not
not the
Rhode
size
Island
of-
small, but it's tiny, bro.
It's more like
And they pay
Kansas or Nebraska.
50%
Maybe.
taxes on everything.
We pay what 30% taxes, and what do we get for it?
Okay, this is what I'm
Taxation and stuff.
This is what I'm talking about with unintended consequence. Okay, you think that if we had done more with public transport, that you would have some train or bus or whatever that would come near your house? That wouldn't be the case, bro. If you
Wouldn't be
live
for
it,
ju- I'm not talking about just for me. I'm thinking about for everybody. I mean, this is a bit more. Of
no,
a
but
future
you are
kind of
thinking
plan.
about just for you because you're viewing it as your problem. You don't have a solution to getting somewhere, so therefore
What about all
you
the other people who can't drive?
I
What
know
about
there
them?
are lots of fine. There are other people, but you're seeing it as your problem where you can't drive a car, and you lament that there's not a public transport solution that works. you're assuming that if there was more public transport, that it would get to you, and that's not the case. Because if you don't have Uber, there is no chance that there would be public transport that would get to you that Uber can't.
I think that's just a factor of bad design.
I mean, of course, it's a bad design. It's the best bad design we have.
No, it's not. It's a fucking horrible design. We spend billions of dollars. Actually, when we waste billions of dollars tearing down infrastructure like businesses, churches, and schools to make room for all of this highways, parking lots, fucking all this concrete shit everywhere, just for it to immediately depreciate as soon as it's built. We
What?
waste
And you
so much money.
and you think rails and train platforms and shit like that would be any better?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, sorry, dude, that's not the case.
Why not?
Because if it were, it would have been done.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, it would have.
Typically, it wouldn't.
Well, why are highways built? Who do you think was the main proponent who put into place a lot of the highways? Who funded it?
People.
General Motors.
Yeah, because people bought their cars and wanted
People
to go
didn't-
places.
No, they didn't want to at first. In the 1920s, there were petitions put everywhere. 60,000 people signed in Ohio to not have cars on the road anymore. So what the fuck the
60,000
government do?
people?
Yes, in Cincinnati, Ohio.
How many people live in Cincinnati?
Right now? Let me see.
No, in
Or back then.
1920. In 1920, how many? What was the what would 60,000 be in proportion? I guarantee you, dude, it's like 1%. So 1% of the people said that they didn't want cars driving, and they said no, fuck you. The rest of us do, and we're building highways.
No,
and you
the
think
rest of them
that's
probably didn't say it at all. These are petitions against it. The rest of the people probably didn't have either a say on either way because they didn't sign a fucking petition. How do you know? People were getting hit on the road all the time. And guess what
because of-
happened? People blamed the people who ran out on the road instead of the actual car drivers. You know, the term jaywalking was used for things like that. Because, you know, people who walk out on the roads, they're just dipshits. Fuck them. They
Well, they
deserve to die.
Well, I deserve to die is a little rough, but they
That
are
was what the
dipshits.
newspaper said.
Be-
That's what
yeah,
the newspaper said.
well, deserve to die is a little rough, but they are dipshits because if you walked in front of a horse and buggy too, you could die, and nobody would blame the horse and buggy.
Back then, the roads were for people to walk around, going from place to place. Cars. were
Yeah,
not
and
meant
that
to
changed.
go
Things
down.
change, bro.
And I don't like that they changed. I think
That's-
they changed for the worse.
I don't like change.
Yeah,
They changed for the
that's
worse.
that's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But I think you're wrong, and most people agreed with me because if they didn't, if most of the people who lived in Cincinnati agreed with the 60,000 people that signed that petition, then the roads wouldn't have get built because once the petition had been signed and it started to get news coverage and then General Motors started fighting it, all those people that agreed with those 60,000 people would have stepped up and said, yeah, we don't want roads here. But they didn't because they actually did want them, or at the very least didn't care. So therefore the roads got built.
Well, I mean, it
Like
makes sense.
if people wanted trains, trains would be built. It's really how it works.
Trains.
Because like without government intervention, private companies would like the Amtrak is the thing.
I like
How you know
trains.
there's plenty of private rail companies, and if there were tons and tons and tons of people that wanted trains, well then there would be a market for those trains, and private companies would step up and fill that market because they would make money on it, but they don't because people don't actually want.
to be made. There's a lot more money to be made in cars.
Well, it's not just money. It's also a lot more convenient. It's also a lot more easy. It's also a lot more difficult to run train. Dude, running train tracks is,
Bullshit.
bro. Are you serious?
Bullshit. You know how much it costs to run just a single fucking car, with insurance and all the gas you got to put into it and the maintenance and all that. And imagine that everyone has a car.
Yeah,
Everyone has a car.
Oh, Nathan, Trism, I actually do know it's cheaper than taking the light rail 3 stops.
So
Because in my city, it is more expensive and slower to take the light rail 3 stops than it is to drive my car downtown and park. That's how expensive trains are. Now, they work in places like New York because there's a shitload of people that use, and this is the thing about train. Yeah, Japan, they work because there's a shitload of people and they're all crammed into a tiny amount of space, and there's not, like, even the inter-country, I don't know what you would call it, but the cross-country ones, there's not a lot, it's a tiny island, so you're only going north or south, so you only need 1 or 2 trains, right? That's not the case in the United States. It's way, way different. Now, where they work,
depending where in the U.S.
Where
Right, no,
they
there are
work,
places in
we
the US.
have them. Like, we have the New York subway system and the Chicago subway system, and we have Amtrak runs trains from certain cities to certain other cities, but it's just not feasible everywhere. Like, you don't even, oh my God, you don't even want to know the fucking estimated, thank God it fucking failed. The estimated cost of the high-speed rail that California wanted to put in from San Francisco to LA. You don't even want to know the estimated cost, which fucking ballooned 3 times before they finally said, fuck it, we can't afford this, and shut it down, because it was fucking ridiculous. Something to the tune of $500 billion was the final estimate for a high-speed rail between San Francisco and LA.
Are you talking about that tunnel that Elon Musk?
No, that's different. That would help a lot, actually, because one of the problems with trains is that you have to follow the land. You have to both follow and manage the landscape. So it involves a lot of cutting, a lot of blasting, a lot of grading and stuff. Like, it's very tough. Tunneling is actually a lot easier. No, but the high-speed rail, the high-speed train, the Governor Brown at the time wanted to copy the Japanese rail system, and he wanted to build a Japanese-style high-speed bullet train from, I don't know if it was exactly San Francisco. It might have been like Oakland or something like that. But it basically would have run from the San Francisco Bay Area down to L.A. And it started off with like a fucking $150 million estimated budget. And by the time they finally shut it down and said, yeah, we can't afford this, it had ballooned into something like $500 billion.
What caused it to go up in price? Why did it go? How did it go from 100 million, which 100 million is really not that much, all the way up to $500 billion? What made
because running train tracks and designing train tracks and trains, especially high-speed trains, is ludicrously expensive.
So they couldn't have maybe just scrapped it and just put like a normal train,
Well, they didn't want a normal train. That was the whole point. Governor Brown wanted his super special bullet train. But the other thing is that there aren't enough people that travel from San Francisco to LA to make a train worth. Like, it never needed to be built in the first place.
How do you know there's not enough people? There's enough people.
Because
there's 30 million people in that state.
Not enough of them travel from San Francisco to LA, because if there were, Amtrak would have built a train.
Is there any other way to travel other than a car? How?
A bus.
Well, that's true. You could get a bus.
Yeah, they run bus routes.
A lot of people don't like buses, though.
Well, then they can have a car. Then they can rent a car. Like, there are other solutions. They can take a horse and buggy. Like, there are other solutions, but it's not everybody else's problem that somebody doesn't like or can't use a car. Like, I'm sorry for you, bro. I really am, and I wish there was a solution for you. But it's not my business or everybody else's business to find a solution for your problem. It's not everybody else. Well, but it's not everybody else's business to find solutions for my problems either.
I'm just saying, like, having other modes of transportation for everybody, not just people who can't drive. 10% of the population, fuck them. Like, for the rest of the people.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, shit. That's kind of.
Well, again, there are solutions. There are lots of solutions, but we can't have a solution for everybody. It's not possible.
And so I guess we're just not that great. We're pretty poor as it is. We can't afford it. Although we could afford to pump billions into expanding a highway, which
Well,
demolishes.
yeah, because
buildings.
90-something% of people use that high. Bro, that's this is the way of the world. Like, you're complaining because you fall into a tiny subset of people who are either unwilling or unable to use the method that works for everybody else. And then
Such a terrible method, though.
It's not. It's the best method we've come up with.
You can't look at Houston and tell me that's a good method.
Well, like, sure. Again, individual example. Like,
New York, you tell me it's a good method.
Well, yeah, that's why New York has a subway system.
That's why New York is ranked one of the highest when it comes to walkability and public transportation.
And that works for New York. Not for Sacramento, California, where the fucking public transportation is garbage because there aren't enough people to use it. Because there aren't enough people to use it.
And if people used it, then it wouldn't be garbage. That's my point. If people used it, then it wouldn't be garbage. People would probably save a lot more money too. Because I know how expensive gases are.
If there were enough people to use it, or as to say, if there were enough people that would use it, it would be built.
Also,
Again,
how hard is it to walk around in certain areas, like in California? Because I know a lot of people who don't even walk. Terrible. Oh, there's a problem right there too.
I mean, no. You can walk. Here's the problem. Like, here's the problem with Sacramento, right? The reason public transportation doesn't work in Sacramento is because it's too spread out. And I'm not talking about the actual Sacramento city. I'm talking about Sacramento. Yeah, Sacramento City. Yeah, you can get around on buses or light rail or whatever well enough. It's fine. Sacramento County, it's not possible. And the reason is because it's giant. It's one giant fucking suburb. Everything
is the problem. No, suburbs are one of the big problems too with a lot of
things. And I see it as big cities are the problem, because the only thing I hate more than public transportation is being crammed into a fucking high-rise apartment complex in a fucking 600 square foot box next to everybody else. I love the suburbs.
I don't like the suburbs.
Well, but that's why there's different things for different people, bro.
I mean, unless I'm
here, public transportation doesn't work because it's too spread out. It's too suburban. But that's fine. And if you don't like that, you can move into the city where they have public transportation that works well enough. But you'll be living in a 600 square foot apartment next to 10,000 other people. But you'll have public transportation and you'll be able to walk 2 blocks to the grocery store. Like, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of.
Because that's my biggest concern, is also getting to work. Because I can't work. I am a person who cannot work in this country because there is no motor transportation.
Actually, you can. There's plenty of things you can do online.
Well, online, sure.
Well, but again, there are solutions to your problems. Okay, we can keep talking about this if you want, but like, we're on like 3 hours and some change now, so I'm gonna end the stream because we've just been going on.
I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Like, I'm happy to end the conversation here. I'm just saying, personally,
like I said, I don't care. I just want to end the stream because it's just been us going back and forth for like over an hour now. So, all right, thanks everybody for watching.